All right, captains. It's Sister Citizen. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this in-depth deep dive. Why is it always called a deep dive? It sounds so corny. Okay, as you all know, my apologies again for, thank you guys all for being here, by the way. Shout out to all our moderators in the chat. Mwah! Kiss on the forehead, KJ. Oh my gosh, I hope Brandon shows up today. I really hope Brandon shows up today. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay, before I get into the details, got my coffee here. You hype bombs? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Somebody please give me a sound check so I could stop singing. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump into it. I'm just gonna assume here. Let me do my own check. Check, 1, 2. Somebody please. Oh yeah, no, you guys can hear me. Wow, you can really hear me. Okay, so I see you, Mary Beth. Okay, I'm gonna try to get into it as quick as possible. I have been away for the past week or so. I wasn't invited to Bethesda, but I was invited to the digital preview event that happened last week, and after I had to absorb it for like a day or so, because when we were watching the presentation, I was taking a lot of notes, so I didn't get like kind of the say, because we saw the same trailer that they showed today, and so I watched it, and I'll tell you a little bit about like more about all the stuff that's, you know, that I saw. We saw some extra stuff. We got to watch Tim Lamb actually play the game and then have a Q&A afterwards. But I felt like I love the update. I'm just gonna say that straight off. But there's a lot of baggage that goes with the update, right? Like, I was hyped. I was disappointed by a couple of things, and I'll share that with you. And I was excited. I was prepared because I knew I saw the day before that, you know, Starfield's biggest nemesis had put up a video about AI slop or something, and of course threw up a picture of a Starfield character that had nothing. I don't know if it had anything to do with this video or not, but I know what he was doing. Had the face on, because I don't know what he was doing. Just getting it. I don't know, but so I tried to stay away today as well. I know a lot of somebody said in the chat just now they tried to stay away from other people's opinions. I appreciate that. That's kind of honorable. Thank you. It makes me feel honored. But I did watch Maddie's kind of quick review of it. After I took a couple of days to kind of absorb it, I started writing the script for a video, which will cover pretty much everything we're going to talk about today, but in a condensed form, because you know how we do live streams. So it'll just cut out all the stuff that we're, you know, unnecessary stuff, you know, about this, you know, the other stuff we talk about. So and before I get started, you know, I don't know, I'm not a huge channel. I thought when they contacted me, I was like, okay, you sure? But I think one of the things that they were really trying to stress is that they weren't trying to change it into Starfield 2.0, which I knew from the get-go. And it's not because Bethesda said that, you know, they weren't, you know, going to be doing that, or if they did do that, people would love the game all of a sudden and accept it. I mean, I knew it wasn't, because Starfield is just not that kind of game. It's not Fallout. It's not Skyrim. It's a space game. And I feel like the player base that didn't like Starfield, they probably don't, this isn't probably their genre. I mean, I know people are like Cope or, you know, Bethesda paid you to say this. No, I've been saying this since jump. I made a video saying this exact same thing about a year ago called Starfield is not for you. And I feel like a lot of and we'll get into it. If you're new to Starfield and you're trying to decide if you want to play it or not, I'm sure you've heard a whole lot of like nonsense about it. People hating it because maybe they have their own personal hurt feelings towards Bethesda or just trying to make content. I was never one of those people. I just loved the game, but I've never believed that Starfield was for people who don't play other space games. I feel like a lot of people who don't like Starfield are bored in Starfield because, you know, they want more of an action style game. When I made that video about 1.5 years ago, I polled the audience to find out what other kinds of games my audience plays. And of course, it was the usual: No Man's Sky, Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, Star Trek Online. I mean, the people who love Starfield love space games. And the people who don't, and they have like invested hours into those games. Not like, oh, I've played those games and they're fun. No, I'm talking about people who, when they come home from work and they choose to play their favorite game, that's the game they get on, and they're trying to get all the stuff and all that kind of thing. They've played it for years, or invested, they're a part of the community. Those people, space people, space nerds, like those are the people that are going to be into it. Classic example, and then we'll get into it. And I'm only saying this because I get the feeling there's probably going to be a lot of new people who are on PlayStation and they're trying to decide if they want to get this or not because they've heard all the negative stuff. I'll give you a prime example. Rockstar made Red Dead 2, right? Red Dead Redemption 2. And then of course they have GTA Online. Same developer, two great games. You know, everybody, you know, plays Rockstar games, but it is a hard divide between the player base of GTA Online and Red Dead. Because GTA Online players think Red Dead is boring, and Red Dead players think GTA is just, there's too much going on. There's too much happening. That doesn't make, you know, and a lot of people think Red Dead is a masterpiece. You know, lots of people think Red Dead is a masterpiece, and there's still people to this day who play GTA Online who think Red Dead is boring as shit. Now, I'm not saying Starfield is a masterpiece by any means. I'm just saying that Bethesda's typical player base, this game was not made for. If you're trying to size it up with like Skyrim and Fallout, this is a space game, and a really good one. And like I've always said, if Starfield had launched as a space game and they had said this is a game unlike any game we've ever made before, unlike Skyrim, unlike Fallout, you know, this is our shot at making a space game that gives everybody everything that they want. You can play as a human, you could build your ship and not have to spend $1,000 for it. You can explore planets. And again, I hear this from content creators all the time. That's, you know, these other games that they compare Starfield to, you know, there's much more to do. And I always hear them stop at a certain point. I know you recognize this. They'll say, you know, in No Man's Sky, you know, when you land on a planet in Starfield, there's nothing to explore, you know, not like in No Man's Sky, but they always stop after to tell you what it is that there is to explore on No Man's Sky's planets. Do you know what I mean? Either they don't really play those types of games, or, you know, they're just trying to hate and try to make Starfield seem boring, or they're just, you know, getting on the nostalgia train that, you know, No Man's Sky is amazing. And it is an amazing game. This is no shade on No Man's Sky, but they always stop there. They always say, then there's nothing to explore. Well, what is there to explore in these other games that's better than Starfield? Because I played No Man's Sky for years, but it didn't 100% sit with me because it wasn't realistic. I wanted real space. I wanted a realistic version of space where I could play as me, a female, and because there are no females in No Man's Sky, they didn't want any of the characters to have genders. Of course, they didn't get any smoke for that, but you know, whatever. And I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to have human companions and explore space like I would if I were a human in our solar system, and, you know, something terrible happened and we had to go to neighboring planets and other humans were trying to make their way. And I could talk to my crew. I could get up and walk around my ship. I could build relationships with them. We could go out and do battles together. Like, there is no other space game that really, really does that. And I feel like maybe a lot of us space gamers weren't so hung up on the story factor of it, because in those types of games, most of the time you get your mission from like your ship display. Elite Dangerous, most of it, well, last time I played it, all of your missions come from your ship, your on your pilot dash. No Man's Sky, you get it from your crew, but they're not really, they don't speak your language. You don't get to know about their family. So I really wanted that experience, and I feel like the people who love those games where they, like Elite Dangerous, like you're spending an hour trying to get somewhere, but now with Starfield, you can do that and get up in your ship and craft and get to know your crew. And I've always thought that Bethesda should have leaned that way. And people also make the point that, like, I don't like Elden Ring, there's games out there I don't like the Expedition 33 that won all of those awards. I would never play that game. It's too sci-fi fantasy for me. It's not my thing. But it's an awesome game. It won tons of awards. I'm not over there talking about why I don't like, that game doesn't have enough open space for me, that type of thing. Like why can't I mine in this game? Why can't I dig rocks in this game? So I'm not over there doing that. So I feel like Bethesda has realized that. I think they've realized that they're not gonna please the Fallout, Skyrim crowd that are used to that 40-second rule of stuff popping up every 40 seconds to engage you. That's never gonna happen in Starfield. And I think Bethesda has realized that. I'm guessing maybe they'll watch this live stream in this first little bit, and who knows, maybe I won't get invited back to the next preview event. But I mean, I feel like that's their W right there. Like, get far, far away from Fallout and Skyrim. The players that love those games, maybe they'll realize that Starfield just aren't those games, and it's a space game, and they'll go ahead and look forward to Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout games. And then, the players who love Starfield, hopefully Bethesda will keep giving us things and keep the game stable and give us new tools and mechanics that make us feel like we are experiencing the realism of space, as we would as humans, as we would in our own solar system, as we would in our own outfits, in our own clothes. We could take off our, we can take off our armor. We can't do that really in other space. I mean, a couple of them, but for the most part, you can't take off your armor. You can't wear your own clothes. You can't get clothes from another of your favorite space franchises if you wanted to, and customize it and pimp it out yourself, or somebody else has made it and you can put it in your game. And one last thing I'm going to say about the hater content creators. Ever notice that they never show you any mods? Every time I see the haters playing Starfield, they're always playing, like, first of all, the main story. And by the way, if you're new to Starfield, try to save that for last. Captains in the chat, please thumbs up if you agree. I know that was probably not the best impression starting. A lot of players probably started the game with the main quest where you go to the lodge and all that kind of stuff. And that's actually an extended tutorial. If you really look at it, that'd be like starting Cyberpunk and the part where you get in the car with Jackie and he hands you the little chip and he's like, want to brush up on your skills? We all say no because it's a tutorial. But, I feel like that was a presentation where everybody said yes and spent 2 hours in the tutorial and are like, this is boring, Yeah. So save that for the end. You don't have to do that right away. If you're a new player to Starfield, get out there and be a space captain as soon as unless, okay, now I'm saying this with, I don't know how the Terran Armada quest line is going to start. I don't know if they've changed the beginning of the game or not. I have no idea. But my advice to new PS5 Starfield players that are going to be playing this game for the first time, save the main quest for last. As soon as you get your ship, as soon as Barrett hands you the keys, get on that ship and just go somewhere. Go to a settled planet, pick up some random quests, tinker with your ship, upgrade your weapons, pick up some side quests, get powerful. Now with this new update, you can cruise the settled systems and get resources and pimp out your weapons and your ship. And I mean, it's just, don't do the main quest first off unless they've changed it. Get out there and experience the game. And and FYI, if you do start the game first, and this is no shade on Sarah Morgan, just don't judge the whole game on Sarah Morgan. Voss says this is my first Bethesda game, the one I'll actually be judging Bethesda on. See, a lot of new players who didn't have that, they didn't have the pre-expectations of gameplay for Starfield. A lot of space nerds. Alpha, what's up, Alpha? Alpha says space nerds in space are the nerds. Yeah, what's up, Insomnia Callie? How you doing? Lord Farquaad, Superman Who, G.I. Joe, Garrett. Thank you guys for being members. Oh, thank you. Ducky. Mwah! Sorry, Ducky. I saw you earlier. I'm scrolling backwards. Okay, we're gonna get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I was sent. I know that a lot of people put a lot of videos out wanting to be, kind of wanting to drop the first video. So they, made, stuff that you can absorb it quickly. But I have all of the stuff that they sent me. So we're going to look at all the pictures and speculate. I'm going to share everything that they, shared with me. We're going to load into the game and just kind of hang out on the ship. And then I'll let you guys, and we'll look through all of the files and I'll tell you what I think about the update here. Let me get into the game. Who else is here? KJ handing out sweet rolls. Okay, so tell me what you guys thought of the trailer that you saw. I mean, what did you guys think? Oh, okay. See here, look, guy. You stabilize on crazy you already downloaded, but are currently inactive. Here, let me check because I just downloaded the Strikers Alliance, the Trackers Alliance. No. Let's go to creations. Now that since we're here, the Trackers Alliance is available. Oh, thank you so much, fam. I have the music turned off. Thank you for tipping the kitty. I have the music turned off today, so it won't be too distracting. But thank you, fam. Appreciate you. Here, let me see. I wonder if I have the actual sound part on. Okay, so we'll talk about the Trackers Alliance right quick. Here, do we have our own? There was a live, thank you, G.I. Joe. There was an update, a Windows update, and it always messes with my sound settings. If you use OBS, you know what I'm talking about. I should have known better. Let me see. No, everything looks good. I can't hear the alert, by the way, guys, but my apologies. I'll try to keep my eye on the chat. Thank you guys for showing the love, though. Thank you, fam. Who did this one? Elman Colful, you've always been a positive voice surrounded by all these jaded, disillusioned creators. Thank you for not losing faith in the game and being one of the sincere positive voices when it comes to Starfield. Much love from Belgium. Thank you so much, Elman. Thank you, fam. I appreciate it. I love this game, but I mean, I didn't have any expectations. I love Bethesda games. I've played them all thousands of hours, but I love space games too. And I wasn't as pissed as everybody else. I freaking love the game, fam. It's like my favorite. Starfield to me is the best space game available to date. Now there are new, I loaded this up and my whole load order was messy. I was trying to do the Star Wars Genesis update before, I got into all of this, and then my mom's got, okay, where, why, who, what? Sorry about this chat. I got a lot of mods. Where is it? Where is it, fam? All right, whatever. Here, let's load up the game. Let's do this one. Okay, there we go. Load up the right one. Okay, so tell me what you guys think from your first impressions. I'm gonna tell you what it was for mine. Again, I didn't get like the most, like I didn't get to sit and like look at it and absorb it all because I was taking like serious notes. So I wouldn't forget anything. So I can make sure I give you guys the right information. But I'll go over some of the notes that I have with me. And we'll start from the PS5 release, which is very exciting. I get to stand oh no. Breathing the same air. Oh no. Yeah, I told you guys. It's a hot mess. Sometimes that's the only thing that the game shuffles your the creation club will shuffle your game sometimes, man, but that's okay. We'll quit the desktop and let it fix itself. Okay, here I'm gonna show you. Hopefully the display's up. We'll go over some of the things that they sent me. We'll go over everything, fam. Let me get to the PS5 stuff. Packaging. Damn. Okay, so the PS5, Starfield is going to be available on the PS5, which is very exciting. Priced at $70. Now, I've heard people say that is this, I feel like there's music on. I don't know, my sound is just all screwed up. I'm gonna assume that there's music playing in the background that's like mine, but I can't hear it. I'm gonna turn down a bit. You will get the Terran Armada DLC, the Shattered Space story expansion, and 1,000 creation, kind of the same deal you got when the game first launched. Now, a lot of people are like, well, Shattered Space wasn't that good, and price-wise, even bundled, it's probably not worth it. And that there are, you know, everybody has their own opinion on Shattered Space. I thought it was okay. I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like they made it before the game launched. Otherwise, considering how much they took feedback this time, I feel like they had already pre-made Shattered Space, and by the time the game came, you know, it was time for it to drop. That maybe there wasn't enough time to take into consideration all of the feedback that it had. However, if you plan on modding your game in the future, I would get Shattered Space because a lot of the mods that are created for Starfield use assets from Shattered Space. So in case you're new to modding your game, and this is just a little bit of tidbit information, if you plan on modding your game in the future, you most likely will have to buy all of the DLCs because modders, for the most part, make all of the cool new mods and stuff from all of the assets from the game. So think about it that way. You know, you don't have to get it, but that's something that I would do if I were planning to get this in the future. There is some information on the performance for PS5. Let me get to it here. I know a lot of people are probably are interested in what that's going to be like. Apparently, they're what the hell? Okay. Apparently there are, you're going to be able to use, like, you're going to get all the effects of your haptic controller. I use a haptic controller on PC, but I'm not a fan of the Xbox controller. Here, let me make this bigger. I'm not, you know, I'm just being honest. If anybody, you know, people watching my channel, you know, if it's one thing, I'm honest. I'm not a fan of it. It's too big. It's too plasticky. I got lady fingers and it's just so massive. I gotta like step over it to press a button. But I really like the haptic of the PS5 controller. You get a lot more reaction in your controller and your triggers and sounds and things like that. So that's going to be a treat for PlayStation 5 players, having all of those haptic abilities. Here, what is going on with I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what just happened to my file I was looking at here. Hang on 1 second, chat. Okay. Oh, I think it's because I have it open on my tablet. Okay, weird stuff's happening. You can select between a pro performance mode if you want to prioritize higher target FPS, or you can select pro visual mode, which I think is probably lower FPS. I think everybody's is very interested to see how Starfield performs on PlayStation. I'm not, I'm not a console. I'm not a console. I don't know how to compare the stats and stuff between console. I'm a PS5 person myself. I bought an Xbox specifically to play Starfield, but now I'm on PC because you can fit a lot more mods on PC. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Is there anyone in the chat here that's new to Starfield and on a PS5? If if you're watching the replay, or you decide to subscribe to the channel, or in some way we get to communicate with each other again, I would be interested on your thoughts on how Starfield performs on a PlayStation. If there's any difference. I know there's probably gonna be like, oh, you guys can see here, these are my notes. Like I filled them in afterwards. Like I rewatched everything, and like I said, this is like the notes for the video I'm gonna make, and it is 22 pages long. That's what I've been doing over the past few days to make sure that you guys get all this. So I'm just pulling bits and pieces from it right now. But yeah, you guys know how I do videos. So I've been working on that. I've finally got it all written out. So I just need to record it and add it to the footage that they gave us. But so you're gonna have a performance mode as well. So we'll see. Now there wasn't anything at all mentioned about the Creations Club on PS5. There wasn't any mention of mod support, if there were going to be specific mods launched, if it was going to launch on PS5. Were the mods going to be the same that are available on Xbox? Is there going to be any issues with using assets and stuff like that with PlayStation, because they are very strict about that. So we'll see. We weren't told anything about that. We're just going to cover creations stuff right now as we speak. And my apologies if I'm not like totally engaging with you guys in the chat. There's just so much that I want to talk to you guys about, and so much to cover. So I'm doing my best to just get it all out and get the information to you as quick as possible. So $70 worth it. Yeah, for if you like space games. And I'm going to preface this with if you like space games. I'm not going to preface this with if you like Bethesda games, or if you like Fallout or anything like that. If you like space games, I think it's worth it. There's a lot of stuff in here that I think you will enjoy as a person who enjoys space games. I think I got off track, but there's just so much information. And then the standard version will be about $50. And again, if you like space games, buy it. If you like space games, get the game. I suggest getting all the DLCs, not because I'm like shilling for Bethesda, but because I like mods and I know that all of the DLC assets are used in mods. So it would suck to like see something cool and want to put it in your game, and then you can't because you don't have the DLC that that the mods assets is using. The Free Lanes update is going to be free on both on all platforms. The Free Lanes update, for me, I'm most excited about, because it brings a lot of quality of life changes that I think any person who loves space games, like, it's just perfect for us. The Terran Armada DLC, we were all like really super hyped over it for like, after we first saw the trailer, and we all got super hyped, and we were like, yeah, it's going to bring, awesome new stories to the game, and it's going to, make it more exciting, and people who didn't like Starfield, they're going to like it again all of a sudden. And, it's going to be like Skyrim. A lot of us thought that. I kind of sort of thought that maybe it'd be, but I knew that especially if you already mod your games at the here, let me put up another picture. I want to make sure I want you guys to see everything that I got, so we can all just kind of look at it. um I, I, I totally lost my train of thought, guys. Sorry, there's so much information. What was I talking about, chat? What was I talking about? Oh god, I totally forgot. Here, let me look at my notes. Okay, here, let me move on to the next thing. Let me see what else is in here. What was I talking about, chat? I completely forgot. Space games. Oh, all the stuff we wanted. Well, Terran Armada. So I knew it was probably gonna be like a faction DLC. Like I knew it was probably gonna be just like another like a Crimson Fleet faction type of thing. That it would be permanent and stuff, but I was hoping, and I think we were all hoping that they would be here, let me pull this one up. This one right here. Oh, this is the free lanes one. Sorry guys, I've got a lot of files here. Okay, so the Terran Armada, I'll go back to when I first saw the trailer. With that in mind, I was thinking, oh yeah, we're probably gonna get aliens or something cool like that. And when they showed us the trailer and I saw the Terran, like the robots were revealed, I was a little bummed. I was like, you know, for a couple reasons. One, for me in games, robot enemies they're just they're not challenging. They're just kind of an obstacle. You know what I mean? I don't know that robots are engaging for me as far as combat wise. But who knows? Maybe they've changed some of the like modifiers for some of the other NPCs where they have special abilities and stuff like that. Maybe they've made the robots challenging. But when I first saw it, I was like, because I was hoping for aliens. I think we all were hoping for like an alien race. So I was like, okay. So I was a little bummed at first. I don't know if anybody else felt that way when they first revealed it. But then after I saw more footage during the event, I saw that they had like human handlers. So I felt a little better, but at the same time, I was like, why can't they be alien? Like I really wanted it to be alien. And I think a lot of the people who enjoyed shipbuilding wanted the ships, I'm guessing, to be alien as well, so that they could get some new ship parts to mess around with and as well. With that said though, I like that they're going this route. I think it would be really cool if like what do you call it, Helldiver style, you know, they know that an invasion is coming and everybody has to prepare and they take over certain parts of the galaxy. I think that would be a cool feature for Starfield. I think, you know, with this dropping and let's say the next DLC is a new species or something that comes into the universe, we'll have our old gear, we'll have this new equipment with the new upgrades on it that we got from, you know, whatever technology, you know what I'm saying? So it would be cool to do that. Everybody can get their mods prepared, and so something like that would be cool. Also, we were in like this little digital waiting room before the presentation started, and they were re-rolling remember the little short animation series that they played before Shattered Space, you know, with the animated shorts for Shadow, you know, the kid in the temple and all that kind of stuff. And there was one for you know, the Freestar Collective, and I really enjoyed rewatching them now because I was more familiar with the characters and things like that, and I wanted to see more of them. So I think it would be cool if they, you know, dropped one of those every once in a while, or dropped us a hint about the next you know, alien invasion that's coming, or, you know, like I said, do more of those animated series. You know, you don't really have to do anything to the game, but just still stay in touch with the players. You could build lore through the little animated clips. You know, looks like Bethesda's into making TV series now. That would be a great way to lead Starfield into like a television series or something like that. You know, transmissions that we're getting with clues in it and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. Maybe one of the I think they'd have a winner in the next DLC if the next species that comes into the settled system has a capital ship or a freighter or something that we can take over and use it to, you know, use the new technology and, you know, use it to dock with our ships. And then we encounter them again. Well, you know, them and the Terran Armada and spacers, and like the space is dangerous. It's dangerous out there. So I would love to see that. And of course, other quality of life changes as we play all of these new updates for, you know, in the meantime type of thing, so that they can get more feedback from the players. Modders can, you know, get better with the creation kit and, you know, make more cool stuff for us. So that type of thing. So as far as the story goes, I have no idea. They were very vague with us on like what the story was. I believe I have some video footage as well I'll share with you guys, but they were very vague on what the story was. And again, I'm guessing it's going to be something like a Vanguard quest line or something like that. One of the things that you know, I know that they're saying that they're listening to the players, but one of the things that, and maybe he just misunderstood the question, but I was shocked to hear after they, you know, after he revealed the Terran Armada and the robots, somebody said, you know, so now can we get rid of our humans? I think the players like, can we get rid of our human followers and have, you know, a crew full of robot, you know, followers? And he said, because there's a new follower, by the way, you guys saw everything. So there's a new follower, by the way. And he was like, well, I don't know, can Maria be a robot? And I think he genuinely didn't know that, you know, there are mods out there where you could have like 20 followers with you at a time. So I felt like they're making Starfield, but I don't know that they're 100% up on all of the things that people have made right now that are available for the game. Because if somebody said that to like somebody like, you know, me or you or people who, you know, use mods like League of Followers or stuff like that, if somebody said that, then we would be like, oh yeah, you could totally, you know, recruit 10 of them and blah 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 and assign them to your ship. And but it was at like, I don't know that they know that those things are possible with the game, which I thought, you know, maybe they're spending a lot of time making the game, but I feel like maybe they should have, and maybe it kind of explains what's going on in the Creation Club, where a lot of us feel like, is anybody even using, like, is anybody testing these mods or, you know, quality assurance? I don't know, actually, because that was, I don't know. That moment right there kind of stuck out to me because, you know, I don't know. If you knew all of the things that were available for the game, and that one is a big one because everybody who plays Starfield uses that mod to, you know, have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 people with you at a time, and being able to ask basically any NPC in the Starfield universe to follow you, you know, and like a basic question like, can we have these robots as followers, went over his head. And I thought that was odd. I was like, you know, that was a question that was like, oh yeah, you could, you know, have them as followers, blah, blah, blah. So that was weird to me. That stood out. That was one of the things that stood out to me. But, you know, we don't know anything about the story, fam. So he phrased it as he didn't want to give us any spoilers. You know, that's kind of how he, you know, it was framed. So maybe that's the case. Maybe, and I'm not being like, this isn't copium here, because I'm sure there's people in the chat that like, oh, this is copium. Maybe it's so good they don't want to tell us, or maybe it's good but they don't want to hype us up think it's so good. I don't know. They're being very I noticed that they're being very strategic like in how they're doing this whole release. I mean, even down to inviting a channel like mine, which is so small. Like they really want to, I feel like they're really trying to listen and pay attention and that type of thing. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know how the story is going to be, fam. And same goes for Trackers Alliance. Although, you know, I downloaded that today. If it doesn't work today, I'll just do a separate playthrough of that. And actually, I feel like there's so much to talk about here. We might even actually just skip that until the next live stream. We'll just do, you know, get our popcorn, chill out, sit back, go through all of it together. I'm not going to play it without you guys, so don't worry. So maybe we'll do that another stream, but there's a lot here to talk about. Okay, here, let me see if I can find, we can look at some of the footage. We'll go through that really quick, because I think we kind of get the gist of the Terran Armada. Let me open the other one. Okay, we talked about the PlayStation. So yeah, again, we'll see how that performs. And no word at all on the mod situation that are going, you know, anything that what's going to be available to console players on the on April 7th. Oh, and everything is dropping on April 7th except the Trackers Alliance mod, which is dropping today. I believe we kind of discussed that too. A lot of people said it wasn't worth it at the time it dropped. I think it was, you know, it was 700 credits when it dropped, and it had like just a couple quests on it. And it kind of seemed abandoned, but people were like, you know, are you going to do any more with it? A lot of players were asking. That's another thing they did listen. A lot of people were asking for more Trackers Alliance quests, and they added 5. And 5 is a lot, so that's pretty good. So I don't know, 700 credits for 5, 6, 7 quests, something like that, geared, you know, considering, you know, how other mods are priced and what you get for it on creations, you know, yeah, sure, why not? All right, here, let me look in this folder here, because when I got all this stuff, I was like, oh, I can't wait to go over all of this with you guys. Okay, video. Okay, here, let me put something up. I'm just going to put them up and we'll talk about them, because I have a video clip for everything, and we'll just let them play, so you don't have to just sit here and look at the screen, but we'll just, in no particular order. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at this clip here. I believe this is a free lane clip. Let's see what we got.
Airlock integrity looks good.
Okay. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, so this is the new location called the Anchor Point. This looks like this is like a robot dog or something like that. You guys hear this okay? Let me know in the chat. This is like a space cafe, I'm guessing, which is kind of cool considering now we have like this cruise ability, and once that clip comes up, we'll talk about that. But so I don't know how many of I don't know if this is the only one. Again, a lot of things were framed as lots of surprises, more to come. Don't want to spoil it. You will see. So I don't know. I can't tell you, you know, if there are going to be more or not. It would be cool if there were, you know, you can find them scattered around the settled systems where you can stop and, you know, stop at one of these locations like this. Looks like there's like a pet of some sort, like a cafe pet. I don't know, restaurant pet. I guess it's okay because, you know, it doesn't have hair or anything in an establishment. But so this is a place that you can stop. Let's see what this sounds like. Make sure it's not too loud. It's called the Anchor Point, which looks pretty cool.
I don't know much, but I do know ships.
Okay, so the music right here is pretty cool. I don't know. It just kind of gives the whole place a vibe. But apparently you can come here and like pick up missions and stuff like this. I think it's cool that it's like a star station stop. You know, it'd be cool to have a lot more of these. So that's kind of dope. But let's take a look. Let's keep looking. So there's a bar here. There's NPCs. Like I said, you can pick up missions. There should be vendors, I'm guessing. Like, again, they weren't too specific about details. So, I don't know. This music is dope. Ah, yeah.
The right thing to do.
There was a married couple through here a little while back. They're traders who do business from their ships.
If I made up some pouches, you could carry my tools. You know, like saddlebags. You new around here? Well, don't break anything. Place is barely holding together as it is.
So one thing I noticed too is I watched all of these clips over and over and over and over and over again just to see anything I could see. And one of the things that I noticed particularly with these new NPCs, and I don't know how many other NPCs we'll encounter on some of these quests, but one of the things I did notice is that they've picked up the pacing of the NPC dialogue. I don't know if it was because Starfield was made during lockdowns, and I interviewed Sissy Jones in a stream like a year or so ago after Shattered Space came out, and she's the lead voice she's the voice actress for Andreja, and she said that they recorded, you know, because it was lockdown, so they had to record in their homes. And I almost wonder if maybe the voice actors should have been together, better pacing. I don't know. One of the things for Starfield is that the dialogue always hit my ear wrong, like the pacing was off or it was too slow. And I think it was difficult for a lot of people to just listen to because it was just off. And especially in the world right now with AI, like there's just something that's off. I'm not saying it's AI, but we can pick that up. And I think maybe that probably helped, and people think it's boring. You know, it's like listening to a rich person talk who think they're the smartest people in the world, so they take all the time in the world to talk, and you're like, can you just get to the point? You know, I felt like that a lot. But I feel like the dialogue is more natural. I don't know if they actually did that, but it just hits my ear better. And I think we will all agree that we'd love to see some of our favorite companions in the game, some of their voice actors come back and maybe do some more dialogue, or you know, freshen up some of the old dialogue, because, you know. But anyway, here, I'll play it again, and maybe if it's just me, let me know in the chat. Here, let me bring the chat. I've got a lot of screens up right now, so let me bring the chat up again. I apologize if I'm not being as interactive and paying as close attention to the chat, but I just want to get all this information out just to let you guys know about it. Need a 40K mod, says Garrett. Garrett, kiss on the forehead, fam. Can you guys hear the music? Or is it just me and my voice talking? Right, it really does feel like Watchtower Part 2, but that ain't a bad thing to me. Yeah, it feels like a quest mod. So I knew that those of us who have, you know, if you're a new person coming to PlayStation, there's a lot of really good quest mods out there that you can add to your game to add, you know, more stories and missions and stuff to do. So I knew that we, you know, those of us who have those mods in our load order, I wasn't like, unless they were aliens and alien ships, for me it felt like I don't know, and we'll see. Again, I don't know, it could be epic, it could be way better than that, I have no idea. But for me, I was like, okay, you know, quest mod. But you know, we'll get into the POIs and stuff like that. But here, let me play it again, and maybe it's just me. Let me know if you guys notice, and make sure you can hear it okay. I don't need to go back that far. Here, we'll go to about here. But the NPCs, the dialogue just seems so much better. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is like this quiet part, I believe.
The right thing to do.
There was a married couple through here a little while back. They're traders who do business from their ships.
If I made up some pouches, you could carry my tools. You know, like saddlebags. You new around here? Well, don't break anything. Place is barely holding together as it is.
Opportunity can be found even in a place like this. Or perhaps, especially in a place like this.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It just seems a little bit more, it seems paced better. And it's just little subtle things like that too, that people don't consciously know it's bothering them, but subconsciously it can, get to get to you. Okay, let's get rid of that. So that's interesting. I don't know if he's a vendor. Like I said, you can get some missions probably from those two NPCs we just spoke to. I don't know what the missions are. There are certain missions that you have to do in the game in order to unlock the other, things in the game, like the pets and the player home that's behind a mission is what I gathered. The pet that you get in the hab, which we'll get to in a minute, in the plug and drop hab, that pet the mealy whale comes with a quest. So they're very vague about it. I don't know if they're the quests that we'll get from, the anchor point. Are there more anchor points? Are there more quests out there? One of the things that made me chuckle was, a lot of people don't know because they didn't, play Starfield long enough. And that's not like, oh, you didn't play it long enough because you don't know, but that's not what I'm saying. A lot of people, like I said, dropped off during the kind of tutorial main quest opening of the game, which again you should save for the end. But there are locations right now in the game that a lot of people didn't find when you enter a system, and I'm not talking about icons on the planet. You'll go into a system and sometimes you'll see little white icons that'll say hostile activity. A lot of people have seen those, and just to kind of give you a reference of what I'm talking about, if you've played the game. If you haven't played the game, there's these little icons that'll show up, not on the planet, but like in the rings that, the little, what do you call them? Like the guide rings of the, you know what I mean? They'll pop up near the planet. And sometimes those icons will pop up and it'll say ship. That's all it'll say. It won't say nothing else but ship. And if you go to it, a lot of times you'll find some really like strange stuff, scary stuff, sad stuff. People trapped, people do weird stuff in their ships in space when there's nobody pulling you over and be like, hey, what are you doing in there? I don't want to spoil anything. But I am going to spoil it because I don't know that people even knew that these little icons and things, these ships that are floating out in space that you can find and the things that are going on in it. One time, and this is a spoiler, and I've only found it one time. And again, there are people to this day who play Starfield who have thousands of hours who are still finding these little pop-up encounters. There was this one encounter where there was a ship that was just floating out in space, and this is a spoiler, so give me like 2 minutes. If you don't want to hear about it, then close your ears. But they're saying these locations are some of the ones you can find, plus they've added more. So just to give you an idea, if you have never found any of these, or to know what to expect, there's a ship, and I docked with it, and when I got on it, everybody on the ship was dead. There was like, I don't know, maybe 30 people in there, 30 passengers. They were all wearing a outfit, and there was a ton of orange juice cups, orange juice boxes all over the place, like everywhere, like a Kool-Aid party, and everybody was dead. So when you got on the ship, you're like, what is going on here? So when you look around the ship, you'll find a slate, and you realize that it's a ship full of cultists who drank the Kool-Aid, basically, and on these slates were like their last will and testaments, and they were following some, their leader who was also on the ship, and everybody was dead because they all drank this orange juice. And in the slate, it was their last will and testament, and like a key to open a vault that was on the ship. And in the back of the ship were there were all these vaults that had all of these people's belongings in it, like thousands of credits and everything, like all their last belongings. And you could open all of the, you had to get the slate, and then you had to open all of the vaults to get all of the goods out and stuff like that. But there are tons of those out there, and I never heard anybody talk about it, especially, the haters who review the game, who are just playing the main base game story, no mods, no explanation. They've played it for a week to make their video, and then they read articles about what other people think about it. And again, it always gets me that they never ever show you the full capability of what's available for Starfield. Only the base model, you know what I mean? So don't judge it by that. If you're watching a creator and they're like, there's nothing to do in Starfield, it's boring, it's meh, it's, maybe the base game is, it needs work, needs more, but that's only half of the full capability of the game. I mean, as you can see, the Starfield community has still been going on since the game launched. Modders are building things. Remember when the game launched? Before the game launched, people were like, modders are running away from Starfield and nobody will touch it and all this kind of stuff. Well, not true. In fact, a lot of the mods that a lot of these amazing mod authors have created amazing things to keep people engaged with Starfield. And so that's another reason why I'm excited about this. The DLC and all of the new stuff, because that means all new assets. That means all new things for modders to create like awesome stuff with. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Here, let me check the chat really quick. I know I've been yammering. Here, let me refresh it. Okie dokie. Let's see what we're talking about here. Hey, Zone. Okay. Speaking of legendary mod authors, and if you're new to Starfield, we are blessed. Sounds like chill out. Zone 79 is in the chat right now. I was talking about the mod authors who have kept Starfield alive, regardless of people saying that mod authors don't want to touch Starfield. Zone 79. And if you're a Starfield player in the chat and you have one of Zone 79's mods in your load order, put an 07 in the chat for that and for Zone 79. I mean, let me just say, Zone is probably responsible for keeping a lot of players interested in Starfield. If you're new to Starfield and you see something in the creation store made by Zone anywhere, download it without hesitation. Since the game's launch, Zone has built an incredible reputation with the community. Zone's portfolio consists of both free and paid mods. Zone hooked us up with a boatload of free mods. If you watch any of my videos, I use all of his mods, my clothing mods. If I do a video and I need a location, I'll use his player home mods. The Cryomancer faction mod, again, a full quest DLC sized mod is amazing. You get a free ship and gear and a quest and new. I mean, he's done a lot for the community. So sorry for the haters who said that all the mod authors ran away. No, they did not. Zone is already a legend in Starfield. And that's the other thing. I'm looking forward to all of the new players on console, because that's a whole new set of mod authors that, might be inspired, who've never used a creation kit either. So I'm really, I'm excited for a lot of reasons for this update, not just for like stuff that we get in the gameplay, but so many things surrounding it, like, new players and things like that. Zone. Yeah, see, I mean, thank you, Zone. I personally owe you thanks for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of game time running around dungeons and trying to collect all of your armor pieces and weapons. So thank you so much, Zone. We love you, fam. Who else is in the house? I'm sorry, I've been talking a lot. Yeah, the vocals do sound a bit snappier. Yeah, they do. They sound a little bit paced right. And it'd be cool moving forward if that is the case, that we get more dialogue that's, you know, sounds better to the ear, I guess. Let me see. I'm sorry. Let me check the chat really quick. Okay, so Callie says, I'm honestly not excited about Terran Armada myself, getting Watchtower vibes from it. And because it's only $10, I'm not expecting it to be too long or in depth. Yeah, I was excited for aliens. No aliens. I'm disappointed there's no aliens, but I mean, it's a story mod. That's how he described it. He said it was a smaller story mod, and Tim Lamb said that the free lanes is the bigger DLC for the game, and you know, in a lot of ways he's right. So yeah, and that's okay, because like I said, a lot of people who are wanting Shattered Space to be, you know, some huge transformative DLC that'll change what everybody thinks about Starfield. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I knew it wasn't going to happen. So I hope it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good. Bethesda has a tendency to work with other modders. If they, like Zone, I'm glad you're here. Let me ask you a question. No, wait, Zone, are you still here? Speaking of Bethesda working with modders, here, we'll look at this hab in a minute here. Zone, are you still here? Zone, raise your hand if you're still here. If not, hopefully you'll watch a replay, or I'll ask you again. Okay, so we got a new player home, right? Like, we got a new asteroid player home, which, I love, because I love my space station player homes. So this one was pretty awesome, and they showed us the inside of it, and the decor is nice. They described it as like Bond chic or something. It's really cool, chat. And I am very picky about player homes. And are you still here? Okay, Zone, did you have anything to do with decorating that player home? Because it had a Zone vibe. If you did it, then that kind of just gives you an idea of what it looks like in there. But I was like, I bet Zone had something to do with this. But Bethesda has a tendency to work with mod authors and incorporate some of the things that people like about their mods into the game. So I don't know. Was it you? We don't have embargo anymore, so let me know. Hey, I don't know. It's got your flavor. I know that they featured cryomancers once. Bethesda featured cryomancers once in a post, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, that looks like a Zone joint right there, fam. Not gonna answer? All right, I don't know. Okay, so they gave us these habs, these elevated pre-made habs. So I guess this will be good for new people who, maybe they're new to the game, and maybe they're not wanting to get too much into decorating an outpost, and they just want to plop down somewhere. And wait, he didn't answer. Not you? They need to call you though, fam. That player home on the inside, like, I don't know. Hopefully Zone is probably somebody that will be working with them shortly. I can see it in the foreseeable future. Anyway. But yeah, the player home is sick, fam. It looks really nice on the inside. The furniture and everything is all chic and modern, and I love it. That's the other thing, like with Starfield, I know like people want to experience like space in another experience it in another way, but I kind of like having like pens and cups and lamps, and like when I played No Man's Sky and I built an outpost, you kind of had to get creative to make things look like objects that are familiar to you. But I kind of like it that like it's set up. But here, let's take a quick look at it and we'll talk about it. The cooking stations work. Elevated, so you won't get any like clipping of any of the landscape underneath growing through your hat. Now, okay, so you get that you get these habs, and then you get this okay, we'll talk about this in a minute. Then you get this mealyworm pet, which when I saw that, I was like, okay, again, this update has a little bit for everybody, because again, if you mod your games, there was a mod that just released, was it Sammy? What's the name of the Millie whale? The same kind of creature. I think it was called Sammy, something or other. Somebody in the chat, I'm sure, knows the name of it. It was a paid creation, but it gives you the same pet, but it talks, and there's a whole quest, and it's voice acted, and it's pretty funny and stuff like that. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, people who mod their games and use creations, they'll probably be like, okay, like I did. I was like, okay, because that's available, and all kinds of other mods that let you basically walk up to any creature and say, you're my pet now, and they're your pet, and a whole like catalog of how to take care of them and feed them and stuff like that, and commands, and like zones mod with Thrax. You got my game was bugging out, but you can get a little Thrax as your pet, and you take him into battle and give him commands. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, it didn't tickle me in my nether regions, but again, we have to look at it as this update is also for new console players on PlayStation. So I thought, if I were a new player, I think it would be cool to have like a plug and play hab that came with a pet that I got on quest while I was out somewhere using cruise mode. And it would be nice to have the little chirping and something to kind of mess around with while I was out on the planet. I feel like they're kind of doing it to fill the new player space. So I looked at it as a new player, and I thought, okay, that would be cool to have a little pop, a little, because back in the day we had nothing. We if we wanted to decorate our habs, we had to steal cups from missions and plates and forks and knives. I remember stealing a whole dining room set from the Crimson Fleet when you go to the Trident. Yeah, I stole the whole set just so I could try to make like a play set. So as a new player, I think it's going to be nice. It's going to be convenient. The hab is going to be awesome to have. Here, let me pull it back up. I'm sorry, fam. I got a lot of things open right now. I think it'll be nice to have if you're new. And it has the labeling on the side here. So I don't know if there's one for every faction or not, and if it's themed accordingly on the inside as the outside, or if they all look the same on the inside. I don't know. We weren't shown any other images of the habs or video or anything like that except this. So I don't know. Are the Varun ones more decorated differently or whatever? I'm not sure. Okay, so since this was the next video, we'll just let them play. So these are the Colony Wars action figures, and this is kind of Bethesda's version of Fallout 4 bobbleheads, where they give you like the same kind of buffs and perks and stuff, and you find them scattered throughout the world, which is cool. It's like it's kind of like tradition, I guess. Now in Fallout 4 you can collect the bobbleheads, and then you can put them up on a display case. In Starfield we have magazines that you can find, and honestly I don't really see a lot of them around. Maybe I don't see them, maybe I miss them. I think maybe I've collected one or two in the game before. There's the one in the lodge, and after that, like, I don't know. I can't remember. If I see it, I'll grab it. But I think this is nice because it's like the bobblehead thing. Here, we'll play the clip through, and then we'll talk about it after it's done. And then it'll give me time to look at the chat while it's playing. So here, we'll start over. Again, you can find them in the world. They're just like bobbleheads. And then you get the play set too, which is what we're looking at here. So normally in Fallout 4, you get this like nice little display shelf. I don't know if they have a playset proper. Here, let me show you. Maybe for, let me see. I think I have a picture of it because I was going to use it for my video. Okay, so here is like the Fallout 4 kind of bobblehead that you can find around in the game, and it gives you specific buffs and stuff. Do I have a picture of that? Oh, here we go. Here it is. Okay, so this is like the Fallout 4 version of your bobblehead stand. So, you know, those are pieces that you can get in the game, but I think it's cool that they added these action figures. Let me pull this video back up. Sorry, fam. Lots of videos going on right now. Okay. Bam. There it is. So it's cool. It's cool. It's kind of a throwback to, you know, Fallout, but here, we'll let it play so you guys can get a good look at some of them. There's a play set, and okay, here, let me stop it right here. See what the pause button is. Okay, so this is the play set, and the action figures are categorized as sealed and unsealed. So it wasn't very specifically explained to us what the difference were between the two, but while I'm looking at this now, I'm thinking the unsealed are the ones that you'll find throughout the game that you can collect and then add them to the playset, and then, you know, the game will pose them in various different you know, action poses like this, and then the playset itself plays like its own little song. And then I believe the sealed Colony Wars action figures are the ones that are in the packages that you can store on the shelf. I don't know if both give you the same number of buffs, whether they're sealed or unsealed, but the packaging is really cool. There's 27 of them, and on the back it has images of all of the ones you can collect, which I think is a nice touch, because then you'll know which ones you haven't found, be able to display them, play with them, so to speak. So here, I'll play the rest of this. Yeah, these are cool. So they're all kind of named after characters in the games, creatures that you can find, and the terramors, or different kind of terramors. But let me see if we can, there we go. So on the back here, you can see that there's like 27, and you can collect all of them. I don't know, maybe these are the poses that they'll be in when you put them on your playset. All the names, and I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. This reminds me of I'm not, you know, I don't collect them, but I know there's a lot of people who collect like these types of action figures and stuff and displays them. So this, you know, I think this might tickle them in their nether regions, having these action collectibles to collect. And, you know, hopefully they'll make these an IRL version of these so people can actually buy them for real, because I know people probably would. I don't have a shelf for them, but I know that people, like, some people are really into these. Okay, let's play the next video. We'll just hit next. See what this is. Okay, so this is the new free lanes cruise mode mechanism. Look at it. Look, watch the planet. Did you see the atmosphere on the planet when you hit it? Watch this part right here. I don't know. Can you guys see my cursor? Watch this. Look at that. Isn't that dope? That little blurb right there. Anyway, so this is the new cruise mode, which, man, this is gonna be so cool when I think of some of the ship mods I have. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my god. This is a feature. Now, again, this feature right here, where you can lock on to a planet or a mission or a destination and autopilot, get up from your seat, do all that type of stuff. There is a mod that exists that does this already. Like, this is already an option. It's already been done in the game. So I was excited when I saw this. I thought, okay, cool, but I wasn't overly excited about it, because again, there is an existing mod that does this. Although it's a little clunky, and the menus are a little weird. I've used that mod before. I think probably most of us who've modded our games have used that before. But again, it's a little clunky and that type of stuff. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, you know, I've already used this functionality before. But again, I had to think like a new player coming into the game, and being able to have this right off the bat is going to be good. Again, I think the new players are going to have a way better experience than those of us on PC and Xbox during the initial drop. A lot of stuff has been created by the community and Bethesda since then. Lots of mods that do lots of things. So I had to step back and be like, okay, this would be really cool for a new player. And at the same time, I'm happy that this functionality has been added to the base game so that it's more polished and not as difficult to use the controls with. Plus, again, it's going to give a lot of mod authors kind of a new function to use to maybe set up their own quests, you know, out in space that you could run into while you're, you know, cruising. But I do like that they added into the game and that it's like added in proper. The ability to be able to get up and walk around in your ship is going to be so great. And again, this is something that people who love space games are going to totally be into, because they're going to be able to get up and craft and research and plot courses, or put it up as a screensaver and go make some coffee, or, you know, whatever. Like, it's going to really give us an opportunity to let us use our spaceships as, you know, homes, like our space homes, which a lot of us do. I used to build a lot of outposts, but it messed with the performance of my game. Just as a heads up, if you add too many cargo links and have too many things going on running in the background as far as, you know, scripts and stuff and that type of thing, it does weigh on the performance of your game. So I don't really make outposts anymore. I'm more of a space liver. So I am happy about this update, so that now I can just basically live on my ship. And like Bethesda said, which I kind of didn't really think about, but I did kind of always think about, was being able to like get to know my crew. Like, I use Marika as like my right hand on all of my playthroughs, and I don't know anything about her. I haven't had time to sit down and talk to her. I know she used to be with a Free Star Collective or something. I don't know. And I've got thousands of hours in this game. So when I think about it, it's going to be fun to like set a course and then sit down and finally like talk to Lyria, which is a companion that's a creation as well. Everybody, you know, basically loves, and it's kind of pretty much a permanent crew member that you get for your crew. So it's gonna be nice to like sit down and, you know, or whatever the new companion that we got, Moria, that's gonna be cool to actually sit down and have a sandwich and get to know your crew, which will, you know, make traveling with them a lot more fun and like bond you closer together, I think. I mean, I know they're NPCs, but you know what I mean? Like, it's more immersive, you know? So I'm happy about that. But again, this is something, if you've been playing Starfield for the past couple of years and you mod your game, we've already kind of had this functionality already. So anyway, I'm gonna let this play, and hang on one second, because I'm gonna turn off my AC too. It's getting chilly in here, but I'm gonna let this play. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we're gonna be able to get up and walk around and all that type of stuff, which is pretty cool. But did you guys see what's his face right there? Him? Cole? What's he doing on the ship? I don't know. Are we gonna be able to, you know, I mean, now, like I said, with mods, you can walk up to anybody and have them as a companion, but I wonder if that is anything to have him on. I don't know, maybe they were just messing around with characters, whatever, but it's odd that he's on the ship. But that's just me. I just noticed that. And guys, if you notice anything in the in any of this footage, just shout it out, because There's a lot of stuff I don't know either. Sis is turning into a spacer. Zone says, with this update, I plan to look into finally doing mods that are ship related. Yes. You said you were working on some habs as well. I can't wait to, oh man. Zone, we need ship habs. We need now that we can live in our ships, and Zone has that like cozy chic design style. Oh man, a big old cozy chic Zone ship that I could just put on cruise and just that's gonna be dope, fam. Please do that. Please do that, and make sure to support you know, our mod authors as well, especially Zone, man, he's a legend. Alpha says, speaking of ship homes, I've been using Mattel's Cockpit's Solitude series mods, which allows me to build really small footprint ships. Oh, that some of these shipbuilders make some really awesome, like teeny tiny ships. Some of them are so bad. Do you make teeny tiny ships, Alpha? Zone, please make those habs. Please make them. Here, let me get caught up with the chat. I'm sorry, fam, if I'm not paying as much attention as I should. If you haven't liked the video too, by the way, like and subscribe. I live stream. I do some videos, but mostly I live stream Starfield. I usually only make a video about a I only usually make a video about a mod if I really like it, and I think you should know about it. So if you're new to my channel and you see mods, you know, I've reviewed a mod, it's because I like it, and it's, you know, probably pretty good to put in your load order. It's probably good to go. Let me see. Corrupt Wisdom says Astrogate gave them the blueprint. Yeah, the Astrogate was, you know, that was a mod. It existed, but it was clunky. I've used it a couple times, and I took it out of my load order. I was like, meh, because it was a little, you know, but hopefully this will be easier to use. And of course we have the new interface with it now, and it, you know, does a little animation thing, and it makes that, you know, sound. I don't know if you heard that or not. You know what I'm talking about. You know, the classic starship dropping out of warp sound. You know what sound I'm talking about. All right, whatever. Okay, here, let me keep playing this. We'll take a look more at this. But that's weird that he's on the ship. I don't know, maybe they were testing, but it could be a clue. All right, what are we looking at here?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Okay. Listen, if you're new to the game, again, please, just so you know, Sarah is a meme in Starfield now. So whatever gut feeling you have inside, deep in your gut, when you interact with Sarah and you feel bad about it, or you feel ashamed, or you feel like, I shouldn't feel this way about this woman. I mean, maybe she's nice deep down inside, but I don't want to hang out in space with her. You know what I'm saying? She's going to stop me from doing all the fun stuff. That reaction is okay, because we all have this reaction. Sarah, I know what they were trying to do. And again, no shade on the voice actress, but if you feel like you need to shout out, just be quiet and sit down. Nobody cares, Karen. But you know, you think you're supposed to like her. No, it's okay. You can say that out loud. Say it to your face, actually. I don't hang out with her personally in the game. Like I said, I've maybe played the mission, the full main story 3 times, and like mostly because it was on stream with you guys for a specific reason. But don't ignore that gut feeling, and it's okay to have. Now, some people like Sarah, like Boss. We've had fist fights in the, you know, she says she used to be a drummer. I say Sarah used to play the cowbell. Okay, she's totally exaggerated that story. She didn't play no drums. Sarah played the cowbell. Sit down, Sarah. Nobody believes you. Okay. So again, first impressions on characters that you meet in the game are important. I know we probably all thought we were supposed to think she was the greatest, but we all have our feelings now. We all have our feelings about all of this. Boss, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Boss loves Sarah. I can't believe Brandon is here either. I hope Brandon shows up, because I'm excited to he's one of our moderators, and he freaking loves Andreja. We all do. But he's only had a PS5, but he's been a moderator for my channel for, I don't know, a couple of years now. He doesn't even play Starfield, but he loves Andreja. So now that there's a PlayStation, I'm excited for him to actually play it and like meet Andreja in the tunnel. I think all of us in the chat are. I hope he shows up because I can't wait. If he doesn't have a copy of it, I'm getting it for him. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But again, like if you're new to Starfield, you jump into the game for the first time, get the ship and just go do your own thing and save the main quest part for the end, or break it up. You know, like do a mission, go do other shit. Do a mission, go do other shit. Because there's only so much of Sarah anyone can take. I mean, she's nice. She's nice. Here, we'll go through this conversation. Yes, clearly I don't think they fixed her dialogue. Nobody cares, Sarah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry, you were saying you enjoy being a member of Constipation?
Fine by me.
What do you consider your areas of expertise?
Apart from being the chair of Constellation for the past 5 years.
Okay, nobody cares. You're the chair of Constellation. Way to bring it up.
I pride myself with my aptitude for astrodynamics, calculating optimal trajectories for grav jumping.
Sure, sounds fun.
Quite useful in the past.
Oh,
and
good.
as far as planetary exploration, my area of expertise is botany. So don't worry, I won't let you
I'm
eat
not.
anything that might put you in the hospital.
I'm not. Okay, so that's how I feel about it. Don't get mad at me, boss. Hey, what's up, Lady Ant? Lady Ant's his wife. No, stop it. Sarah doesn't like that. I do, fam. I don't care. She take her cowbell and get out of here. The original Corbin? Space Karen. Totally. That's totally the way to describe Space Karen. I mean, but you love her. You know what I mean? In a weird way. Like the same way you love Nazim. You know, like he's... you wouldn't want him to... you wouldn't want to hang out with him at a club or with your friends. And he's typically not a very nice person, really likes himself. But if he wasn't around, you'd be like, I kind of miss him. He's an ass, but you know what I mean? Look out, Sarah has a writing crumb. Sarah has a writing crumb. All right. So anyway, like I said, stay away from Constipation. I mean, the Constellation quest line until the to the end. All right, here, let's keep going. All right, what have we done here? There's that noise. Did you hear it? Okay, Sarah. Here, let's play it again. I'm turn it up. We drop out of. That's a cool sound. Pretty cool. So if you're out in cruise and like you come across an anomaly, why can't I say that? Anomaly. If you come across an anomaly or maybe enemy ships, possibly Terran ships, that type of thing, it'll drop you out of your cruise mode, which is kind of cool. It's kind of immersive, especially if you're like in the mess hall and you're in the middle of a sandwich watching the stars fly by as you're in, warp speed or whatever, and then all of a sudden there's an incursion, right? You drop your sandwich to the floor, you run to the bridge, things are blowing up everywhere, enemies are in your view screen, and you still have half your sandwich, and you're like, do I finish this sandwich or do I engage? And you throw the sandwich on the floor and you jump in the cockpit, and of course you're using the mod where all of your followers are assigned to the station, and you're like, cruise stations! Something like that. Anyway, the ship will drop you out of cruise. I keep wanting to call it, what's it called? Elite Dangerous Super Cruise? I keep wanting to call it Super Cruise, but it's not called Super Cruise. It's called Cruise, okay? No Super. All right, let's just keep pressing buttons here, see what else we see. You can see there, one of the ship's names is the Saladin. So we got a Terran Saladin with cheese. Cheese sauce. I can't tell the size of these ships. There's a picture of it on the shipbuilder, but the engines on it, the back engines on it. They kind of look like they're M-class size engines, but I don't think these ships are that big. Again, I can't wait until we get capital ships. So the ship they're using is a ship. Oh my god. What weapon is he using? What is that? Like that's like an A-class. It's an A-class weapon right there. He needs some X-Tech on them puppies. Oh, what did I think about the X-Tech? I think it's interesting. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, you got it. Couple more shots. Oh, try a missile. All right, there we go. Look at that. Ah, I love that new interface. That's cool. Okay, so this is when like you come across some enemies or something. Emergency deceleration. I like the new interface. I think it looks cool. The little like unfocused and then focused again and then okay. It's like stop making that sound. Okay, look at this. Look, you like look at this minefield. What I can't remember where Celebri. This is a minefield. So when you come across this minefield, you'll your ship will stop, which is kind of cool. I mean, you can't really do anything in this minefield, but I'm sure you'd probably want to stop before you flew your ship through it. The other thing too, again, there's a lot of ship mods that you can add to your, to your game. There's a mod that when you run into things with your ship, like ramming, it takes away your shield. You can damage your ship. In fact, if your shields, you don't have enough shields, if you actually ram into another ship or an asteroid or anything like that, you can actually destroy your ship, or you can use it to destroy other ships. But make sure you know what you got in your shield juice. Anyway, so if you had a mod like that, that would be cool as well. I think it would add to the flying experience, because when I use that mod now, and in the base game, when you fly your ship and you run into stuff, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't do any damage. But I use that mod now, and it makes actually like you have to actually fly the ship and not run into stuff, which is very immersive. So, again, Bethesda, I don't know if they know what mods that we like per se, or how we use them. Again, given that comment Tim Lamb made about having robot followers that I thought was odd. But it would be nice to, add the ramming damage to your ships as well. So if you run into anything, like you'll actually have to pilot your ship and not run into, obstacles and stuff like that. So that's a nice little immersive feature. Just little tweaks, little teeny tiny things like that. Definitely add to the immersion. Let's keep watching. All right, there's another ship named Terran Scipios. I don't know what it's called, but no new ship parts though. So I was hoping for the ships to look different. I really was. I think a lot of people were hoping for the ships to look different. But they're like in the tradition of like new ships, like Watchtower style, like new ships, new faction. But apparently everybody in the Settled Systems uses the same manufacturers, or manufacturers that, make all their ships look the same. I don't know. Pardon me, chat, I was coughing. I don't know, but we'd like to see, it would be nice to see some variety in ship shapes and ship shapes. I said ship shapes. Ship shape parts. Ship. All right, whatever. Here, we'll keep playing and see what happens next. Ship. Okay, so okay, well, we'll get into that. There's so much stuff. Okay, so we all saw the trailer and stuff. I have to remember that everybody saw it, and I'm trying to remember if they showed it in the trailer that everybody just saw, but we have these new ship modules now that you can add to your ship. So no real new ship parts proper. There's new ship habs, new double-decker ship habs. I don't know how many, but they did say that they made a I think it's like 2 double-decker cockpits and 2 double-decker ship habs. So I don't know what they look like on the outside. I'm guessing they probably just look like all the other ones, but you can get these ship modules. I believe it. We'll get to that part when it comes up in the video roll, but you can get these ship modules. One of them is like scavenger, like scrap or salvage scrapper or something like that you can unlock. So when you destroy enemy ships, they should drop schematics for these like upgradable ship modules that you can add to your ship. But this salvage module in particular, and the reason why I'm bringing it up now before we get to it, is that when you're in space battles and you blow up another ship, if you have this module, I believe you'll get like extra ship parts and extra loot from them when you go to, rob their asses from their salvage after you've blown up their ship. So, these modules do stuff like that, but we'll get to the modules in a second. But anyway, I just mentioned that. So it'll kind of like encourage you to, salvage more, I guess, especially if you're looking for, parts and resources. And I don't know if it does money, but it definitely will give you more ship parts. Hey, kitty. Okay, next one. Oh no, we'll press play here. Okay, wait. Okay, we'll stop right here. Okay, so now one of those modules that you can get, either, kicking enemy ass or stealing their ship and just taking that shite to the shipbuilder and stripping that baby down and, chopping it up and selling it on the street and living a life. Okay, no. You don't have to do all that, but you can actually just take the ship from other, board it, steal it, old-fashioned way like we normally do if you want to get the modules that way. But one of the modules is it's called the evasive stealth module. I think it's called evasive stealth. Anyway, you can get that module and add the stealth ability from the Starborn Guardian to any ship you want, which is really cool. So now we have a cloaking device. Hint, a cloaking device for our ships. All right. I'm hoping whoever needed to hear that heard that. But so you have this cloaking device. So for instance, it's not just useful now in battles so that, your enemies don't see you. You can actually use this evasive stealth shielding or stealth evasive. It's something about it. It's evasive. It has the word evasive in it and stealth. I don't know which order, but you can use it while you're in cruise. So if you're, trying to get to your destination, you're using cruise, maybe you're on your way to Paradiso, darling, you don't want to be bothered, you can turn on you could use the evasive stealth module and be invisible. So I don't know if that'll stop you keep your ship from dropping out of cruise if you come up against any enemies, because if they're not supposed to see you. So I don't know if that's a way to keep your ship from dropping out of cruise or not, but it's a cool feature. I don't know why you would be able to use it for cruise and it not make you invisible to enemies and stuff like that. But anyway, it's pretty cool.
Solid docking job there.
Welcome aboard the...
Oh, wait. It's tradition. You can't show what's in the party ship. I don't know. I don't know if that was in the trailer or not. That everybody saw, but that was the inside of the party ship. But you got to find that on your own. A tradition. It's a rite of passage in Starfield. But again, like they showed that as a location that you'll find, and those were already existing. So they either, I think what they've done is that make it so that it's easier now for players to find, so that, you know, when they get into the universe, or like there's nothing, you know, there's nothing to explore, or, you know, nothing to find in space. There's lots of stuff. You just have to, you know, it just has to pop in, you have to notice it, and then you have to go to it. But I like how they've organized this so that, you know, maybe you'll have the chance to encounter it just while you're flying, and it'll pop up that way. But they said they added more. Now, added more like, you know, like the one I told you about earlier with the cult. More little mini stories. You know, there's tons of mini stories out there. Sometimes I leave some of these ships that I find out there. I'm like, man, you know, chat, you've been there. We've left the ship like, wow, that was, I don't know what to say about what I just saw. So I like this. I like this. I'm excited about that part of this. But anyway, okay, let's keep playing. So hopefully we'll get more Starborn appearing when you finish the main storyline, and you can collect more quantum essence in the game now, which will be very useful for a lot of the upgrades. But we'll get into that when the video pops up. I know it's kind of all over the place on how I'm presenting this, but you know, I think you guys get the gist, and I'm hoping that you're able to follow along with all that's going on here. It's a lot. It's a lot. I will say one of the things I really like about the whole update specifically is the fact that it all works together. Like, it's synergistic. I don't know about the Trackers Alliance because we haven't played that yet, and I don't know. That's, you know, other than bounties being in the world and stuff like that, but for all of them together, like it all seems to work together, like finding locations in space, the anchor point, the player homes, the new anomalies, having to destroy ships for modules, looking for X-Tech so you can upgrade your weapons. Hopefully we'll get to the data menu soon, which is amazing, but we'll keep going. But I mean, overall, I feel like all of these new updates are supposed to work together synergistically, and I really like how they've all been put together. But anyway, okay, we'll keep watching. Hey, what's up, Path? How you doing, Gain? What's up, James? We need lighting fixtures. The build menu has always none. Okay, so I guess this is an encounter that they found while in cruise, and this is what I'm talking about. I don't know what encounter this is specifically, but there are ships out there right now in the game that you can, I don't know if this is a new one or not because I haven't found all of them, but there are ships like this in the game that you can find where something has happened. You know, I don't know what this one is, but maybe this guy's face is all burnt out, so maybe he did something weird, like, you know, tried to get rid of the whole rest of the crew so he could sell the ship to pirates, and it went wrong and ended up killing everybody on the ship. And so like, and that's not like something I just made up. Like, there's slates and stuff around and voice recordings that'll kind of tell you what happened on the ship. Sometimes there'll be creatures and aliens and viruses and like all kinds of stuff that you'll find. And I think maybe a lot of people were looking for encounters like this on the planet, like planet side. Like when you land on a planet, you know, you walk a little bit and there's a settlement and something like this has happened in there. And then you walk a little bit, you know, the 40-second thing. Well, there are things like that, but they're not on the planet. You just have to look for them. And I think the captains in the chat can attest to that. I still haven't found all of them. So I'm hoping that they added more interactions like that, because they are really fun. Like, you know, if you watch my streams, if we're in the middle of doing anything and an icon that says ship pops up, we stop everything and go see what it is. So I like this system. All right, here, we'll keep going.
Please evacuate the ship immediately.
Yeah, probably some kind of virus, something contagious. All right, what's this? Hostile activities. Yeah, see, these are what these little markers look like, except they'll just say ship and you won't know what the hell it is. See what happens when we go over there. Insertion target. This is nice. Okay. While we are talking about crews, I think what everybody is wanting to know as far as traveling wise about the loading screens. So I didn't see anything about loading screens. In fact, it was pretty much as far as navigating around the map in the game. This was pretty much what they focused on was the Free Lanes DLC. So we didn't see anything about loading screens. Now, that's not to say they didn't do anything about the loading screens, because again, some of the information that wasn't told to us was framed as you'll just need to wait and see. We want to keep it a surprise. I don't believe he said that anything, like they didn't mention anything about loading screens at all, but maybe that's a possibility that they've done something about the loading screens that people didn't really care for. I personally do not care about the loading screens for a couple of reasons. One of the main ones is that, people give Bethesda a lot of shit about their engine being old and why don't they update it, and it's old and it's terrible and everybody else is using Unreal and all this kind of stuff. And I know what people mean, but when they say that Bethesda's engine is old, because it doesn't look like next gen games, like it doesn't look like Unreal. It's not, beautiful. And I mean, it is beautiful, but you know what I mean? Like everybody has this next gen idea that because a game looks next gen, that the engine is spectacular. And we know from Unreal that that's not necessarily the case. But my opinion on the loading screens is I don't mind them at all, because I think the complete opposite about Bethesda's engine. I think it's one of the most advanced engines that's ever been made, for the simple fact that the engine is able to load thousands and thousands of objects that you can pick up and manipulate. Or if you get on a ship and it's zero gravity, you have pins and cups and all kinds of things floating around you that, like, if you touch them, they float, or you can grab it and put it in your outpost or wherever you want later. Like, it takes time to load all of those objects. And the fact that the game engine can load all of these movable pieces in seconds is amazing. And the reason why we have the loading screens is, damn it, give the game time to load all that shit. And personally, for me, I don't have a problem waiting. If you're on PC, the loading screen is like 5 seconds. But if you're on console, I don't know, like 10 seconds. Like, I don't mind the wait, so that when I'm in zero gravity, everything is so realistic. I can touch stuff floating around me. If I go into a vendor, I can pick up a random bucket and put it over his head and steal from him. And those are things that you can't do in games with static graphics that, of course, load faster. They don't need the loading screens because they're not loading all of these parts that you can pick up and touch and interact with. So the fact that this engine loads all of this stuff in like 10 seconds blows my mind. So yeah, it may not look next gen, but don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's perfect, because the engine does have its issues, but for what it does, and the fact that it's complicated enough to load thousands and thousands and thousands of movable objects in seconds, but yet simple enough that if I decided I wanted to make my own spaceship and put that file in the game, it's easy enough for me that I can make that I don't have to be, a college developer to understand, a college educated developer or whatever, some, coding genius to make an outfit or a ship or a player home or anything I wanted, and have it work in this engine that's this complicated. So, I hear it all the time. The engine's old, it's whack, it needs to be updated. I don't think so. I love being able to have all of inanimate objects and things be totally lifelike. You bump into a table, you knock the cups over, stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't mind the load screens, but we didn't see anything about the load screens. And there are some shortcuts that you can take when you're using planet maps, especially when you're approaching, that you don't even have to open your map at all. But I don't think, I don't think a lot of people, they got frustrated with the game and said it was boring and threw the controller down and got online and started talking shit in the comment sections. But there are shortcuts to using the planet maps. I mean, sometimes you don't even have to open it at all. You can point your reticle at a location on a planet, and as long as it highlights yellow, you can just land on it. You don't have to open a map and then select it on the world. So there's other shortcuts that you can do as well. Okay, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. We'll never get through this. All right, how you guys doing in the chat? What's Zone talking about? Yeah, Zone says less noticeable and fewer. I agree. If you're using this cruise function more often than not, then you'll probably won't be encountering as many loading screens if you have to open a planet map. But I mean, come on, I played Oblivion, the remaster. I mean, everything is a loading screen in that game. Why did anybody say anything about that? Man, the loading screens in Oblivion. You go into like one of the little shops, loading screen. Leave, loading screen. When I go to another part of the map, loading screen. I mean, again, I don't mind loading screens, but why is it okay for some and not others? Why is it okay for some? Like, yeah, like these floating pieces over here. These floating pieces in space. You run into them, they move. That's to me, that's advanced. That's not, needs to be updated, because not too many other games do that type of thing. All right, so here's the autopilot, another anomaly. So yeah, I think we got the gist of the free lanes update. I think it's an awesome feature. Okay, boom. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here's the I think this is where we craft the ship optimization terminal. They gave us new workbench skins. I think this is the Freestar one, so it has like the wood paneling on it. They gave us a bunch of like the crafting benches. They all have like, they're faction themed. You can get the faction themed one, like Constellation, UC, all that stuff. New skins for the guns. But again, I wasn't that excited about that stuff because they're skins, skins are cool. We love skins, but they're skins. Again, though, if you're a new player, they'll be fun to have. It'll be fun to have, your theme benches and, that type of stuff, if you, depending on what faction you side with and things like that. So, okay, it's fun. I see what they did. For me, okay, it's okay. But new players, yeah, that's pretty cool for them to have. I think this is the part where we do the weapon upgrading. Yeah, these benches, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're benches. All right, here's one of the new guns too. Here, let me catch the name of that. I mean, they're benches. They got skins on them. They're benches. Okay, wait, real quick. Pause it. Okay, so this looks like one of the new guns called the MGP laser rifle. And I guess they wanted to go with more like old school SMG type guns. So I'm curious if like the Terran Armada, I don't know, like somehow, I don't know, because when they come into when they're revealed in the trailer, the lady says, "You've forgotten who you are, we're here to remind you." So I don't know if like maybe there's some evil faction from, well, clearly they're humans, so it's not like we have to wonder where they came from or whatever. Like clearly they're from Earth, so no mystery there. But they must have some kind of past, or maybe they're trying to take over or have all humanity join them. I don't know. But this is one of the guns, one of the new weapons that you can get. So I believe they're like more like SMG style, more, machine gun style, which they were saying a lot of players were requesting. I don't know. It'll be fun to use, especially with all the new updates on it, but I'm not really an SMG person. I feel like since we're in space, I'd rather use more like stuff we don't get to use on Earth. You know what I mean? I don't want like a souped up AK. I want a laser rifle that shoots lightning bolts. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Like I want the new type of style weapons. But apparently people were asking for this, so this is pretty cool. But this is one of the new guns, the MGP laser rifle. This new upgrade system that adds, I believe, 2 new tiers of legendary modifications. It's good. I like this because it's going to be good for people who've been playing Starfield who are like level, I don't know, I'm level 300 right now. Some people are like level, I believe I had a viewer who was like made it to a level 1000 or something like that. It had 1000 at the end of it. I don't know if it's 1000 or I don't know, whatever the max is. I don't know if there is a max, but he was level 1000. And so if he's like in a POI or something and you find a weapon and it does like, and you're fighting like level 300 enemies and you find a weapon that does like 15 damage, it's kind of bunk. Finding standard weapons when you're level 300, it doesn't even motivate you to want to go to POIs to try to farm them because you're not going to get anything that's going to help you really. So, so it's nice that they've added these higher damage tiers. So at least if you're higher level, you're able to get more out of your weapons. But anyway, so there's 2 extra legendary tiers. I believe they're called okay, here, we'll play it. But basically you'll need this X-Tech resource to upgrade it, and you find X-Tech like in POIs and dungeons, things like that, boss chests. I feel like it's going to be like Astra, but you'll be able to decide what you can use it on. Because in the Trackers Alliance, they introduced Astra, which is similar to it's not a resource, but it's like a currency if you're new to the game. And you would take it to this NPC called Stash, who's in the back, and you'd give it to him, and then he would give you like a random legendary piece of equipment. Sorry, shot. Excuse me, got the burpees. But with this new system, it's kind of the same thing. You're using a resource or whatever item in the game to upload or upgrade your weapon, but you get to pick what kind of modifiers that you want to add to your weapon. So anyway, here, let me keep playing. I don't know that this goes through all of it, but hopefully they'll show it. We were shown like a different, like another presentation above and beyond the trailer that everybody saw, where it wasn't live. It was like a recording of Tim Lamb going through everything with us and explaining everything. But I can't show it because they put your real name on it, like in the middle of the screen, for obviously copyright or whatever. So you don't send it somewhere and before the embargo lifts. But there was a lot of things that, he talked us through all of how this whole thing works. And it would be easier to just show you and have him explain it, to you and kind of share that footage with you. But I can't, because in the middle of the screen, it has my real name, like my real last name, first and last name on it. So I can't show you, but just to sum it up really quickly, there's different tiers. Basically, normally it was like, I believe you could only get up to upgrade a weapon to tier 3 for a legendary, but now there's 2 new tiers that you can use for use with X-Tech. There's also like a module that you can add on top, like a buff modifier module that you can add on top of the new tiers. But the modifier you can find when you're like, you can find it as loot. So, and then you can add it to your weapon and it gives you like faster recoil or it's just little buffs on top of the buffs that you can already get into your game. Faster recoil, faster reload, stuff like that, but like an extra buff. And you can only have one of them per weapon, one modifier per weapon. And then you can also upgrade the, it used to be, I believe advanced was the highest level as far as the quality, but I think, here, we'll go through it, but I think the highest level now is like exceptional, something like that. I mean, and then you can, obviously add the effects that you want to it. So you can really get in there and customize your weapons now. And Tim Lamb was saying, for instance, like Space Adept, the Space Adept effect, normally when you're in space, it'll give you like 30% damage while you're in space. But if you're topside, like, planet side, it gives you negative 30% damage. But they've removed the negative portion of the modifier so that you only get the positive effect. And I believe they tweaked Space Adept a little bit as a weapon modifier. And they were saying that, adding the Space Adept effect to your weapons now will work really well against robots. So, and they've also added like special effects. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to the video. I don't think this video is long enough to show it. So it might be on another one. But they've added features like the McLaren's mod did, like new stuff. There's one called Bloodthirsty. It's like a new effect that you get when you unlock, I believe it's like legendary level 4. And then, when you shoot somebody, you automatically, it'll give you health back, like stuff like that. So those are pretty cool as well. I don't know if it'll show all of it here. And then now you can roll for the effects, and each effect takes one Xenotech to roll. So let's say, for instance, I have this gun here and I want to put like Space Adept on it, and I use one X-Tech to try to roll for it. Here it says like roll legendary modifier. So you roll it, and like I want Space Adept. So I roll for it and I get Beast Hunter or something like that. So I'll roll again, but I'll get to keep the Beast Hunter modifier. Again, there's mods that do this. So you kind of know what I'm talking about if you've used some of these legendary mods. Until you lock all 5 of them, you may get Space Adept, the one you want, your second roll, your third roll, your fourth roll, your final roll. But regardless, the ones that you don't use, you get to keep until you unlock them all, right? Whether you use them or not. And then you can move on to legendary rank 2, if that makes sense. So you have to unlock all of the effects with all your rolls, and then you can move up to the next rank, up into the exotic tier. So if that makes sense, it's a little complicated, but and then you can find all of the options to do this in the skins portion of your workbench. So you'll see all the new skins, and then you'll be able to scroll down and then start using your Z-Tech to upgrade your weapons. I think yeah, it just costs like one X, or why do I keep calling it Z-Tech? I've been saying Z-Tech, X-Tech, that's what it's called. It costs 1 X-Tech per upgrade. I don't think it costs any credits or anything. So yeah, these are all of the, oh, here we go. So here they are. These are the, like, this is an exotic rifle. See, we got a whole new like Destiny looking banner at the top here. Damn, just pretty. Look at this, gun's worth 116,000. It's nice. I don't think this is a new skin. This is the Revenant, but maybe the pirate skin looks like this. I can't remember if they showed it to us or not. But this modifier, for instance, Kismet, gives you like a 25% chance that your magazine will reload is it 300? No, to full. Triple. No, it's tripled. Excuse me. Every time you reload, there's a 25% chance that your next magazine size will be tripled. So you have a chance minimum every fourth shot that your weapon magazine will just go nuts. So really good to be using if you're using SMGs, if you got a high capacity magazine, and every fourth reload, I believe it's reload. Is it reload? Yeah, reload. Every fourth reload, you'll have a capacity to triple your mag. So extra little things like that. Of course, in order to do any of this, you have to get out there and explore and find the X-Tech. So this is pretty cool. It's a little complicated, but I mean, I get it. I understand it. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Yeah, Fallout 76 editions. Is that what this is? Now, see, I never played Fallout 76. So I heard somebody else say that too. Is that how you upgrade your weapons on Fallout 76? And what do people think about? Do people like it? Hey, what's up? What's up, Revenshik? Revenshik? I never know how to say your name. Ravenshik? No Tesla. Tesla would be dope though. It would be cool to have some of the Fallout effects on some of these new weapons, but quality level. That's what it's, the quality level. Would I say that? The value level? No, the quality level. So that's gone to exceptional there, and that's the maximum quality, maximum maxed out version that you can get of the weapon. See, that was the old school legendary. Maximum quality, bam. Okay, so anyway, lots of fun stuff, and you can do it with your armor. So it's not just your weapons. You can add these, new perks and legendary tiers to your armor as well. So that's going to be pretty dope. Okay, let's see what the next one is. You guys okay in the chat? Hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to all of my subscribers and all the members who keep the lights on around here. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you're new here, welcome, Captain. I hope you'll subscribe and hang out with us. I mostly live stream Starfield. Like I said, every blue moon I'll make a video, but it's only about something I really like. But we like to hang out here on this channel and just talk about Starfield and play the game and test out mods. And I play with a full load order. I think I got, 200-300 mods, 200 probably right now. So if you're curious about mods, want to know how to even use them, want to know which ones are good, want to hang out with legends in the mod world like Zone 79, who's in the chat right now, and ask Zone questions, come and hang out. I mean, Zone shows up every once in a while. I'm not going to try to act like Zone's always here. You should show up more often every now and then, Zone. Make your sandwich, nice soda, sit down, chat, catch up. Just kidding. I'm happy to have you here, Zone. But Zone does pop in every once in a while. And so, if you want to get into Starfield, and, it's difficult to find content out there that's not negative. There are a handful of us out here still, doing some positive content on Starfield. And hopefully with this new update, there'll be a lot more PS5 players getting into it too. I can't wait for the game to release so that we'll have a whole bunch of new captains. Hopefully, not I want a bunch of whole new subscribers, but no, it'd be fun to have more people, especially experiencing Starfield for the first time in the chat. And just, helping and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, next one. All right, what we got here? Okay, so this is this looks like the interior to one of the Terran Armada POIs. It looks very watchtower-y to me, if I'm being honest. Kind of the same color theme, but we didn't see any more than this and a few other shots. But the images or the video and that I saw of the little bits we could see were pretty cool. I think it's in this video, but yeah, it has a very watchtower-y watchtowery interior from what I can see here. So we have these robot enemies. Their voices are I feel like the voices are vanilla as well. They seem a little altered, but I don't know. I was hoping for something that was more unfamiliar to us than this, but it's still a step in the right direction. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the story's good. One of the new guns. Like, it sounds like an altered Vasco voice. You know what I mean? It sounds like altered Vasco voice. Let's see. What time is it? 3? You know what, chat? I noticed that with the last live stream I had, and we were having internet problems. It started happening at 3. I think does anybody have internet that gets weird at like the exact same time during the day? And it's happening again. And I was like, next time if that happens during the stream while I'm streaming, I'll have to see what time it is. And it's like around 3. It's interesting. Okay, looks like we're okay right now, so I'll keep going. But okay, what was I talking about? Okay, here we go. So we've got right here. Okay, so there's a couple of NPCs right here who are obviously held hostage. We can get missions like this, in space when we rescue captains or whatever from pirates or whatnot. But I feel like this is probably deeper than that, because I saw multiple people like held hostage here like this. So maybe we get new like quest objectives, not just go here, kill the pirate leader and collect your, credits for it, or, go and free the captain from the ecliptic. And then, you know what I mean? I feel like maybe they're adding more objectives than just doing that. So anyway, here, let's roll the tape. You know what I mean? It's like Vasco, but like if there were static, you know what I mean? Like somebody hasn't tuned his voice in properly. Just, I don't know. I don't know. I was hoping for something that was like something new that we haven't heard before, but I don't know. That sounds very vanilla.
Come here. Thank you.
Okay. Major incursion, which I'm guessing is a type of the type of mission this is, probably repeatable. Sankumasi, neutralize the Terran reclaimer, free the captives. So looks like you have to go in, do a task, free some captives. I believe you have to do something to the reactor and blow the place up. So it sounds like they're adding more things to do once you're in a POI and switching it up a little bit. But how many times we'll see the same type of POI, I don't know.
Thank you.
I've never been so glad to
see. There's several guests, or not guests, but prisoners. Okay, something interesting that's coming up that I want us to look at. As you can see, they're obviously ranked as well. This is one of the Terran, I guess, invaders, but looks like they have ranks. This one's an ensign. There's another one that you encounter had another rank, and there I saw, maybe it's in the video as well, there's like she appears to be the leader of them all, like I don't know, president. I don't know what we call him, president. I don't know who. I know she's the leader of the Terran Armada. But the other thing I noticed too is that I don't know if it's her or not. I'm not 100% sure, but the voice sounds like the actress that played the female Eve from Mass Effect. You know what I'm talking about? The female Krogan. The voice sounds like it's the same voice actress. I know I've heard that voice before. Whatever that voice was in the reveal trailer. I think it was that same voice actress. I don't know. Let me know. All right, let me see what we got here. Is the stream still going okay, chat? Showing me that it's kind of lagging, but the image, the video right now is not playing, so it's paused. So I guess you kind of couldn't tell. Okay, so here we'll keep playing, or keep showing this here. All right, see there how we had to turn. We've got this little wheel here that we have to turn. So again, not just go here, you know, take out this pirate leader and then go. This looks like a new functionality where you go in and you do something other than that. So that looks pretty cool. Puzzles. Oh, my bad. Okay, here we go. Puzzles and new objectives. Sounds like a nice addition to POIs. Okay, turn that. Pop in here. Bing, bing, bing. Set the refinery to overload captains.
Warning.
I wonder if you have to get out, like before it goes.
Must evacuate.
Like if you don't get out, it'll go while you're in there. Terran Reclaimer. These new locations look huge too. Look at how big this looks. Maybe it's just a perspective, but I think they look really cool. They do, the structures, the POIs themselves, they look alien, but unfortunately they're humans. But this looks pretty cool. It's cool to roll up on a POI like this. I can't tell how big it is from this picture, but it's nice to have a new looking POI at least. Ah, that's pretty dope. One shot, son! Got your incursion right here. Here's a ship. I don't know what ship this is. I think this might be a Terran Armada ship. See, I can't tell. See, that, like this piece right here. Or no, that's a landing gear. No, I can tell. I know these engines are new. And new cockpits, but I don't know. There's shipbuilders out there in the chat. Let me know if you see anything on these ships that look like new ship parts. Except the engine. There's modules, but other than that, okay, is there anything else? Ah, okay, so here's a melee whale. Again, similar to Sammy, the counterpart to this that's in the Creations Club that talks, and there's a whole quest with it, but which is good, I guess, for Bethesda, because new players will start the game, get this hab, get the pet, maybe head over to the Creations Club, maybe they like this pet, and then they see that there's Sammy available, and they're like, oh yeah, I want my melee whale to be able to talk and call me an asshole every now and then. So it works out. Again, for me though, it's cool. It's cool. Personally, I don't like pets in game. The only pet that I really in Starfield that I'm okay with is Zone's Thrax, the pet that you get with the cryomancer, just because he doesn't make noise or doesn't seem to get in the way. I'm not a big fan of followers or pets that like chirp and rattle or make loud noises, stuff like that. Like, I want to be able to have them follow me, but see them, but not hear them. Pets should be seen and not heard. Anyway, so I don't know, not for me. And again, those of us looking at this who mod our games and have been playing Starfield, it's not getting me excited, or I'm not. I mean, it's gonna be cute to have, but it's not a game changer or anything for me, and I'm guessing for people who mod their games. How you guys doing in the chat? How you doing, Charles? It's okay now? Yeah, it looks like it's okay now. Every day at 3. I wonder if something like there's a building or something around here, like a bank or something, and every day at like 3 o'clock they run their like some kind of huge like processing internet bandwidth software hog. I don't know, but it's weird. Every day at 3. Okay, so anyway, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I don't know. What do you guys think about the melee whale? I wish I could read everything you guys are saying at the same time while I'm talking, but it's kind of hard to do both. What about weapon and armor colorways for the skin? For colorways for the skin tab? Weapons and armor colorways. What are colorways? Forgive me. What's up, Team November? A boss says that gun is beautiful. Oh, you like those SMGs, boss? Donovan says they better be joinable. Oh, you mean the Terran Armada? I don't know. I don't know that they are, because like I said, when somebody asked, so now you can replace your human crew with a robot crew. I don't know that Tim Lamb knew what that person was asking, and if that were an option, I think he would have answered that differently, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know if they're joinable or if you can have them as a follower, I guess, you know, because normally when you join a faction or something, you get follower. I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're meant to just be the nemesis. More the better, says Zone. Okay, so Donovan says every Bethesda game has had lots of loading screens. It's just the non-Bethesda fans complaining about that. I don't know if it's the non-Bethesda fans. I think it's the Bethesda fans who are fans of Fallout and Skyrim who were expecting Starfield to be like Fallout and Skyrim as far as content and story-wise goes. So, or like No Man's Sky, where you can just land on the planet, and because you have to go through too many menus before you land on the planet, that was just another thing to nitpick about, you know, just like there's nothing to explore like in No Man's Sky, but they never tell you what there is to explore in No Man's Sky. They just stop at that point and don't tell you what is better to explore. So, you know, I don't know. The loading screens don't bother me, and just I feel like a lot of people were just trying to find something, you know, to complain about. In fact, I watched a review of Starfield by a content creator when it dropped like a couple of years ago, and the things that they were complaining about have all been fixed now, or they personally didn't know that wasn't an actual issue. They just didn't know, you know, how to find it. See, look, every day at 3. Am I lagging? It usually stops, so hopefully at like 3:30 it'll stop. Are we still on, fam? Let me know in the chat. It says excellent, but I don't see my stream up at all. Let me know if you can hear me. So Kanan, I don't know what's doing. It should be okay. Like, I don't know. It's just, I tested it when it happened before. It's like it happened for a certain period of time. My apologies too, fam. I'm so exhausted. I've literally been trying to get this. You saw the script, 22 pages. I was trying to get it done. Basically tell you guys everything I've been saying in a script and try to squeeze it into 20 minutes. And I've been doing that all weekend, and I think I've had 4 hours of sleep in the past few days. My eyes are burning and my face hurts, but I was so excited about this drop today and being able to talk to you guys about it. But I will be dropping like the video within the next day or two. Honestly, after I'm done with the stream today, I still have to go to work. But then after that, I'll probably crash out like, I don't know, tonight and probably tomorrow during the day. So I will, like I said, be making a condensed version of this, but it's probably just going to take, you know, a little bit of time. All right, we still on, chat? Just hang in there. It'll stop being weird in a minute. All right. Yeah, those are the different skins. That's a cute little trick. His little hands freak me out though, right? Look at his little alien hoofs. I don't know. I don't know. That's cute though. Look at it. That's cute. It's cute. I mean, I would keep it in my outpost, but I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you think, chat. All right, what do we got here? Okay, so now we have another little companion. This is the MD5 Model G. Model G. It's cute. It's cute of this. It's got different skins and you can command it and stuff, but there are several, you know, I've had several robots like this as companions in the game. I'm sure a lot of us have, but it's going to be great for new players. I think it you know, you can take it with you in combat, but it does it bites ankles. You know what I mean? Like if you're going with like an ankle biter build, you know, and you want like an extra ankle biter buff, then you get this little guy as a companion. I think he does like little attacks, but you can take this companion outside of the plug and drop outposts. But again, when I saw it, you know, I'm just like, again, I'm taking you guys through how I felt when I saw it. I was like, okay, you know, okay, it's cute. You can change the skins and stuff. And then I was like, okay, it's cute. And then I thought, at least it's, you know, like a new asset, and, you know, somebody will come along and use the textures and add 2 giant machine guns on the side and like, you know, an ice crusher in the middle so you can mix your drinks and turn it into a remote control and, you know, make it so that, I don't know, like I know, you know, people will probably do different things with this base model asset of the game to do, you know, more with it. Not that it's not enough, but it's pretty cute, and I'm glad we just got new stuff for people to play with in the game. All right, here's our new weapon here. Oh, see, there we go. Ankle biting build. You see that? See how he got him right there in the ankle biter build. One more time. I wish we could do this in slow motion so you could absorb all the action, but you know, just focus on the Model G and watch what he does. Watch what he does. Okay, did you see that? Did you see that right there? Right there. He went straight for the ankle. As you can see, the pirate went immediately down. Okay, so this it can be useful. Here, we'll do the replay one more time. Damn it, I wish I had slow-mo for this sake. Hang on. Okay, so you're planet side, you've just landed, place is full of pirates. Bam, here he comes, right there. He shot son right in the goddamn ankle. You saw it, pirate went down immediately. So, you know, if you want to take this little guy, I love you too, Carrie. How you doing, fam? Thank you for being a member. Kiss on the forehead, Carrie. How you doing, Will? Good to see you, fam. I see it and hear you. Thank you, Garrett. Kiss on the forehead to you. Actually, you get 2 kisses on the forehead. All right, it's okay to kiss your viewers on the forehead. It's in the policy. What policy? Okay. As long as your foreheads are clean. Okay, here we go. All right, so I don't know how a nice way to say this. And I want to say this as nice as I possibly can. This is for Bethesda. I'm going to say this the nicest way that I can. Players don't really like the buggy. Okay, I know. Don't get offended. Don't get mad. I'm sorry, but we just don't like this thing. Everybody that I have ever known that's played this game, they don't like this thing. I don't like it. It's I know why they made it. And when I saw that they'd updated it and they were presenting it, I was like, that was my first reaction. And again, I'm sharing with you guys how I felt when I saw it. And I was like, okay. Okay. I think the buggy was okay. I think the buggy was a reaction to try to help like diffuse the argument that it took too long to get from your ship to a POI for new players. Okay, new players. They were complaining about being over encumbered and taking a long time to get from one POI to the next. But of course they didn't know, and if I didn't know, and I'm not saying they as if I'm some better starborn, but most people don't know when you start the game that eventually your character will be able to move faster than this buggy. You'll be able to move faster, get there quicker. You'll be able to carry ungodly amounts of inventory. And if you can't carry it, you can use a starborn power and, personal atmosphere yourself. And, if you use a personal atmosphere, grav dash, and a little amp, you can get to your destination faster than this buggy will take you, and you'll be able to carry as much as you want. And since the game dropped, they've changed the inventory system. So, and I use it now. I think it's brilliant. You can have access to your ship's inventory no matter where you are. So if you're in the middle of a city and you just want to fast travel to your ship and you can't because you're over encumbered, you just open your inventory and transfer everything that's in your inventory directly to your ship without even being near it. So that over encumbered issue, Bethesda changed that option early on. So, that's not really an issue anymore. And that was another reason for the buggy. And of course, how long it takes you to get there. But, again, most people don't know that eventually you'll be a space god and you'll be able to get there faster without this. Not to mention you're a space god. Why the hell would you need a buggy? It doesn't make sense. Why would you need it? Why would a starboard need to get in a buggy? If anything, I feel like, and plus, and a couple of other reasons, if you hit the tiniest little rock or pebble in the terrain, it stops this thing cold and completely disrupts the flow of your driving. In order for this to even be usable in this game, they would need to make it so that the rocks are demolished, like they are destroyed when you hit them, rather than like stopping you from driving. I find this thing very frustrating to use. They've added like a better boosting mechanism to it. Tim Lamb says that you can basically fly this thing now, which sounds good, but as we all know, when you try to use these vehicles thank you so much, Carrie. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Mwah. Carrie, kiss on the forehead, fam. But yeah, they're different. When you use these vehicles and you get too high, giggity, or you fly, like you get too high up in the air, you start to have performance issues. Because your game is trying to load everything around your buggy in the air, and for me, it causes my game to my FPS to just crash. And I noticed when this was being shown during the digital preview, there was a shot of the moon. It's called the Moon Jumper, by the way. It's the new Moon Jumper. It's bigger, it's redesigned, but it's still a buggy. But there was a shot where it was up in the air and the game lagged, you know what I'm talking about. That lag that you get when you get too high up in the air with these buggies, and their game lagged, and it was their game. You know what I mean? So, or stuttered or whatever it is. You know what these vehicles do when you get them too high up in the air. So it affects your performance. You can't really drive them on the ground. They bump into rocks. If you're a new player, don't think that you have to use this in order to get where you have to go. You may have to for a little bit. It's frustrating to use. I think what they need to do, and I think it would be better for the game as well, is just give us boost packs that do this. Let us hover to our destination with an optimized boost pack, or once you become Starborn, you can just fly there. You're a space god. There should be like an animation where you use a Starborn power and the screen does something weird and like the cruise mode sound. And then the next thing you know, you're where you're at, or an animation where you get there fast and you just pose like, super Starborn or something. Like, why are you driving a buggy? So anyway, I don't know if the buggy thing is necessary in this game unless you can maneuver it better. The weapons are better. I mean, I don't know how the weapons are on this, but the weapons on the Rev 8 were meh. I mean, not even, I don't know. I never used it. I knew before when they told us they were going to release it, I knew I was never going to use it because at that point I was already Starborn, and this pretty much just, vehicles at this point just hinder me. They get in my way. Not to mention I don't want to crap on this, but I kind of am. But I'm just giving you my honest feedback on this. The audience, my listeners, new people, whatever. We don't need this. We don't need this unless other NPC, like if there's a highway system and other people are using them, or there's a crafting station or something inside that you'd need to take it with you as like a mobile crafting station possibly. But other than that, I don't know. I think they should retire this moon jumper thing and just give us backpacks that do the same thing, or let us just fly there once we, finish the in-game quest. So that's just my opinion. I don't know. And I don't know any of my viewers who actually use this thing. Nobody's like, oh yeah, Sista, I was in the moon, using the moon jumper the other day, and, I was able, nobody really uses these things. So it was nice. Thank you. It was like a gift that somebody gave you that you'll never use, but you want to be polite and not hurt their feelings and say, I don't really use this. It's, but I still want to be nice about it. Like, thank you, Bethesda, for trying to help new players, figure out, the best way to get from one place to another and help people not be so upset about it. Although you will be able to do that with no problem eventually. We don't really need this. I would love to have you spend that time making us a badass backpacks. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Garrett says, as a poor man, I can honestly say it doesn't have to look pretty to get you to your destination. It's like riding your lawnmower to the convenience store. People do that where I live, by the way. That's a real thing. People actually do that. I'm not a huge fan of the control scheme, but I'll drive instead of walk about half the time for immersion. For immersion, if you're wanting to mess around with it, I use it sometimes, but if I do use it, it's usually like a modded version of it, something cool that I just want to try out. But useful in the game, I'd rather fly. I'd rather fly. How many people can fit in the new one? It's the same. So, and that's the other thing. Like, if we could fit, because those of us using follower mods, I usually play with 3 or 4 followers, so they won't all fit. It's only you, I think. It's the usual. It's a typical. And then see, that would have been useful so that we could carry more followers. But I don't. Again, going back to the robot question, I don't know that they know that most of us who play this game travel with multiple companions. I don't know that that's even on their radar. And also I found when I used the moon jumper, whenever I would have a companion with me, there were some times where they would get launched out of the passenger seat. Like, there was a collision issue. So if you go over a jump or hit a rock or go too high up in the air, they would just be ejected from the vehicle altogether, fall somewhere, you'd hear them scream, and I don't know, this the whole thing. I don't know. We just need backpacks. I'd be happy with that. Or 4-seater where there's no collision with the terrain. And then, yeah, I would use it. But besides that, it's just frustrating. Okay, pardon me, chat. Okay, so I think that's all we have as far as like videos and stuff goes. I think for the most part here, let me oh, here there's a couple of screenshots that I want to share with you guys, and I hope I was able to like give you some more information above and beyond what you guys saw today, like stuff that was helpful. Let me look at all of these pictures here because they gave us like a handful of images, and there's one I wanted to show you guys. Well, there's a couple that I want to show you guys. One of them I was like, what is this picture of? Okay, wait, hang on. Let's see, this one, screenshots. Okay, here we'll go through the screenshots really quick. Okay, so here's a picture of the anchor point. Once again, with the new Terran Armada ship back here with the maybe, I don't know the size of these engines, but they look like M-class engines, but those engines are definitely new. So engines, habs, modules. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right, what's the next one? I gotta do this manually. Okay, inside, we saw that. Here is the outside view of the new player home, the new asteroid player home, which is kind of cool. That thing really does look nice. Zone, if you didn't design it, I don't know. We need something like that from you, or like an overhaul where you put your stank on it, because that thing is beautiful. Okay, we've got the Colony Wars action figures. For those of you who like to collect those, they will be replacing the bobbleheads. What's we got here? The Millie Whale. All right, we got the little Model G companion. What's this one? The Moon Jumper. Okay, it jumps high. It does. It's got new boosters, look, new rockets and stuff like that. And they've come up with an immersive way to attain it. You have to steal it actually from a POI. So that's kind of cool. I mean, you can't just buy it from the ship vendor. Like you have to steal it. So that's cool. That's cool. Drive it. If you're gonna keep it, it needs to be improved. It needs to be improved. Okay, what's this one? Here's the outside view of POI. Pretty dope. You got the moon jumper. It looks cool, but man, I wish it worked better. What's this one? We got through them all. All right, here's a shot of the Terran Armada ships. This looks like this might be the new cockpit right here, because I'm looking at the lines on this, so this is the new cockpit. These are supposed to be double decker. I guess you can tell here. So two double layer cockpits, 2 of them, I guess. And then this right here is a what did I do here? What did I do? I double clicked when I shouldn't have. Okay, hang on, what happened here? What exactly? Hang on, chat. Screenshots. Okay, which one were we on? That one. Action figures. Millie Whale. Another bot. Moon Jumper. That. Okay, these are the ships. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is a module right here as well. It's like a shielding module that you can put on a ship. So it's not a ship part. It's here. Let me see. It's new, but it's a module, I think. So, and then these are some of the it's like some of the other like add-on modules that you can get. They're really small too. There's like a micro grav drive, so it like gives you more power, but it's teeny tiny. We've had, we've got some of those pieces existing. Okay, that one that have made like our grav drives and cargo and all that stuff like teeny tiny. So it's good to get new base game pieces like that if you want to upgrade. Here's the Terran robot. I just wish they had been aliens. That's my only disappointment. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what how their weapons work. There's new armor, Terran Armada armor as well. There's also like Ryujin armor. I'm just trying to recall what I saw because a lot of the stuff we didn't get pictures, images of. There's Ryujin armor, and I saw a new pistol. It looked like a Ryujin pistol. So, but the armor that Tim Lamb was wearing while he was, we were watching their presentation while he was playing the game, he had this helmet on. I think it was a Ryujin helmet, but it looked Starborn-esque. Again, I'll have to, I didn't, I don't know what they're going to show people. I don't know, but there are new weapons and armors to get, but they're not talking about it. So, who knows? Again, all of this could be, just a surprise. So that will be surprise, or it could be that it's just not really that, these things that they're being secretive about, they're not that amazing, or I don't know. We'll all have to see. Terran Army. So here's I think this is the leader, I believe. And I think this is the voice actress. That's the voice of Eve, the female Krogan from Mass Effect. I'm not sure. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like to me. I'll have to look it up and check. But here are I guess these are the new Terran armors, which they're good, but at the same time, they still look a little like they look base game, kind of like a mishmash of Vanguard, Pilot. And I don't know. It just looks I wanted to see something that we hadn't seen before, like textures and I don't know. This all looks like they could just be like, if I saw this guy here in this Terran Armada armor in a crowd of NPCs that were wearing like base game armors, I don't think I would notice him. I don't think I would be like, oh man, what's that armor? I gotta have it. Just from this shot alone. Because it looks, base game. I get trying to keep the lore and stuff, but I think we were all hoping for a little, something that was a little bit more unsettled system-y for us to experience. But I don't know. I'll have to go back to and read like everybody's comments, because I see some of you are just, I want to like read everything. I see some of you like write everything that you think, please put it in the chat. Don't think I'm writing a huge paragraph in Sista's chat. No, write it all. Like I want to hear what everybody thinks. And maybe somebody, watching the replay will see your question or your opinion or an answer you gave or something like that. Yeah, see, I just again, they're cool. Like the helmets are cool and they got a little bit of gold trim on them. I think that's gold. It's hard to tell with the lighting, but if this Terran Armada person was standing in a crowd full of other NPCs with vanilla armor on, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And that's a little bit disappointing. Okay, so this guy, I believe, is part of the Trackers Alliance quest. I don't know if he's a bounty, like somebody we got to go get, or if he's somebody who is leading somebody we need to go get. All I know is it looks like he likes to wear his long johns in public under his golf shorts. But I do like this outfit. It looks like we're going to be maybe we'll get new outfits from the Trackers Alliance. I'm not sure. Last time we got I think we got that like a Trackers Alliance jacket, leather jacket, and then we got the gun. So I don't know if we'll get more stuff. I'm guessing with 5 new quests, hopefully we'll get more like gear and clothes and stuff like that from this. And hopefully the missions are going to be cool. Tracking down each one of these fugitives is going to be nice. I personally didn't like the gun that you got with this game. I didn't like how it felt when you shot it. It just hurt my teeth. It's hard to explain. It's something about the sound that just rattles my face. But it's an excellent weapon. Like if the sound didn't hurt my face, I would use it a lot more. But a lot of people like it. So You know, we'll play through the quests. I don't know about tomorrow, chat. I'll probably be asleep until tomorrow after I finish work. But the day after, what's the day after? I don't know what today is anymore, but whatever the day after is tomorrow, we'll play through the Tracker's Quest, and I'll get that video out as well. Let's see, what's the next one we have? I don't know, Zone, what'd you think of that fit? I liked it. I mean, it had a little bit of style. It was okay. All right, let's see what we got here. I think they might be on. Oh, here it is. Oh, well, no, this isn't the picture of the helmet he was wearing, but here's the pistol I was talking about. This looks like maybe a Ryujin pistol because of the colors that it has on it. And then this looks like, I don't know, maybe a Terran officer's armor that she's wearing here. It has like the Terran logo on the sleeve. What are these called? Officially in military, I know it's not bars. I know it's chevrons. I think that's a shape. Whatever these are called, that, you know, service people show their rank. And then this armor here, it looks like it has like a mantis helmet on it, or mantis shape. So it looks like it looks like a mantis helmet. I don't know if it's like a remake of the mantis, or they overhauled it, or if they're just kind of using the same shape for the mantis helmet, which I'm not a fan of the base game mantis helmet shape. So I don't know, maybe mantis. But I'm guessing because, like, if you look at it, it looks like bug eyes right here, bug eye, and then like mantis face tentacles, or I don't know, whatever. So it might be a new mantis, or maybe maybe it's an evil mantis. Maybe, wait a minute, now I'm looking at this. Maybe it was like one of the Trackers Alliance quest is like hunting down like a new mantis, or I don't know. This looks like a mantis outfit for me. So who knows? Or it could be Terran, or it could be a new mantis. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's screaming mantis to me. I don't know how they're using it. Maybe with the Ryujin faction, because this looks like a Ryujin. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I don't know. Would you wear that? Like, you know, while you were out saving the universe and blasting people in the ass with laser beams? Chevron. That's what it's called? All right. Thanks, Team November. Chevron. I get 1,000 ideas from the suit. Oh, look, Zone, look at it real nice. Get a good look at it, Zone. Make us something cool with it. Like these things here. Just do something cool with it. Here, get in close. I want you to see all the textures and configurations. I bet. Zoe, I bet you're happy about this update too, because like you said, all this stuff you can do with this suit. The helmet's kind of banging. I'm just not a big fan. I get why the mantis helmet is shaped that way, because I guess it's supposed to look like a bug head, but I've got a huge forehead, you know? Last thing I want is like extra head on the back too. You're like, Sista, but you're not really your character. You don't have to wear that in public. Okay, sit down. You know what I mean. All right, let's see what the next one is. I'm almost ready to crash out. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 10 minutes left of energy in me. This is the picture. Look, this was in the kit. The materials they sent this. I'm like, what did it show us here? I don't know if maybe it's a new. Maybe this is new. I don't know. I don't ever really use these like vanilla space suit like outfits, but what? Bro, this looks like a sexual harassment case to me. I don't think she likes you, bro. Maybe you should back up a little bit. I mean, you breathing all kinds of hot air. I mean, look at her face. Could you back up? No, girl. You looking good, fam. Yeah, I know, but we're at work right now, and you're kind of in my personal space. No, baby, it's fine. It's fine. Just relax. I'm gonna lean over here and whisper sweet nothings in your ear. I think I might have to call HR. What is the picture? What is he doing? Hey, baby, can I sit here? No, this seat is taken. What am I looking at? Oh, they're new camera poses. Oh, thank you, boss. Dude, I was about to start a whole new RP game based on this single picture. I had the storyline and everything going. Okay, so we got new photo modes. Well, they didn't mention it, so it wasn't mentioned. So I guess that's why I was so like, what am I looking at? Like, why is this in the new photo mode poses? Okay, so that's pretty cool. Some of the poses in my photo mode just don't work no matter how much I've tried to get them to work. I don't know, maybe it's a bug or something, but okay, so new photo mode poses. I'll have to check that out. Can you back up? All right, let me see here. Why did they send me that? What else? All right, I think we got like 2 more pictures to go. We can take a look at Trackers Alliance. Here's a gun I was talking about. It's a cool gun, but man, I don't know. Something about the recoil hurts my face. But it's a good EM weapon. You can like max out the damage on this pretty well, especially now with this new tech and stuff that we have. Trackers Alliance screenshot. Okay, more Trackers Alliance stuff. More. Okay, here's this picture. Does this look like Rosie? It's pretty funny. This is what Rosie does in her spare time. She's like all sweet and nice, like in the daytime. You know what I mean? Like Varun's serpent priestess at night. You know what I'm saying? That's where she gets all that special medicine from. This is from the Tracker Alliance as well. I don't know if she's like a leader or I don't know, just part of the quest, but I don't think it's Rosie, but I just think it's funny. I think she's got the same, she looks a little older, but I just imagine Rosie doing something like so off the cuff, you know, at nighttime when nobody's watching, you know, like working a strip club or leading a serpent cult in the basement of our outpost without us knowing about it. But so we'll see. This looks like a new dress as well. This outfit that she's wearing. But you know, a lot of the NPCs wear clothes that we can't have, but who knows? Okay, people, let me check my notes, and I think I got everything. I did ask. Okay, I asked 3 questions, and I only got 1 answered. And I think the other questions that I asked, they just didn't want to answer. They put them immediately into review. Excuse me, chat. At the end, we were all able to, you know, ask them questions, and people were able to vote on like what question should be asked, like to get to the top to make sure it got asked. So I asked 3 questions. I asked if the player home, the asteroid player home, if we were able to build in it. And he said, yes, we're able to, you know, to build, use the builder in it. And then I asked if there were any optimizations that were coming to the game so that maybe people with, you know, lower end PCs will be able to hop into the game. And that like immediately got put into the held for review section. They were like, oh, no, we're not going to answer that. And the other one I asked was if mod authors or if the creation kit if they were going to be getting any animation tools anytime soon for the creation kit, so that, you know, mod authors out there could make some new animations and combat stuff for us or whatever. And that got immediately put into the held for review, aka we're not going to answer that, aka this is not the time. What I found though, by asking those questions and looking at the other questions that people were asking, there weren't a lot of questions that were asked that were like hard hitting questions, you know, questions like who's watching over the Creation Club verified creators program, because there's a lot of stuff up there that doesn't work or is not good, and you know, like that. Like nobody was asking like those type of questions. Nobody asked about the loading screen. I felt like after I asked about the animation kit and any, you know, updates to optimizing the game so that it runs better, I felt like after that, I knew those weren't the questions that they were going to be taking from us. And there were like a handful of questions that were about like things that were in the new DLC, but a lot of the questions were very softball. Like nobody asked anything, like if you were able to sit in front of Tim Lamb and ask him a question that you've always wanted to ask, it probably, maybe it'd be a nice question, but you probably want like a good, honest, hard answer. And it's going to be a question that you've thought on, and it's important. And maybe a little bit provocative and controversial, but you want to ask it. Like nobody did that. It was more like, like he was wearing a hat, like a golf hat or whatever, visor, I guess you would call it, a Titleist visor. And somebody asked, like, and the next one, are you going to, have a Terran Armada visor, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about your visor. Like, what's up with the Creation Club? When are we getting animation tools? Like, stuff like that. Can the game run better so that more people can play it? Because it's optimized, but it could be better. It could run better. But it's more of like congratulatory questions, like, are you excited? And what are you excited the most about from, hearing from PlayStation players playing the game? It wasn't anything that you would get hard answers to. It was more, whatever. And I think he really should have had a Terran Armada visor on, but that's just me. He looked like he just came off the golf course, I don't know. It was actually kind of distracting because I kept thinking, did he just come from golfing? And I don't know. I wish it was a Starfield visor. I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but it was a little bit but yeah, so I didn't, nobody asked any, like the real questions that we really want to know. Nobody asked them. So after my questions got put into the timeout section, I just stopped asking questions because the questions I had, I don't think that was the time and the place that they wanted to answer them. But yeah, that's all I got, fam. I'm tired as shit. My final thoughts on all of this is that I think this is going in the right direction. It's 110,000 bazillion trillion times not for people who didn't like Starfield before and expecting they're going to like it now, or, people, thinking that Starfield is supposed to be like Skyrim and Fallout. All of a sudden, it's not. You're not going to like it any more than you did before, if you did at all. Well, I mean, you didn't like it before, but if you did like it, if you did like Starfield, then you'll be satisfied with this. It adds some good functionality to the game. I don't know about this quests or anything. We'll have to find that out. But quests aside, if I hadn't seen any of the quests or anything that had to do with the quests, if all of these updates, especially the free lanes, quality of life changes were just added, I'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be overjoyed. I just feel, and I guess the only thing that I'm, disappointed over is that I didn't get to be more excited. Like when I was contacted, pardon me, chat, man, I need to get some rest. When I was contacted, they gave you a link and stuff and all that to preview the event, and they gave it to us like, plenty of time, like days, maybe a week. I don't know. It was a while before the actual event, and you could log in and all that kind of stuff. And there was like a timer page before the event started with like the countdown, and I had my page up every time I had my computer on. I logged in, I had my page up because I was that excited. Like I fell asleep with my computer on just so that I could keep that page up and like wake up to that countdown. I was so hyped. Like I get up in the morning, I'd be like, yes, you know what I mean? Like, let's go. I was so hyped. And then after I saw everything, I wish that I could have still been that hyped after I saw it. Like, I wish I could have carried that energy through, and what I saw had hyped me up. But I was like, okay, that was my reaction. Okay, it's going in the right direction. They understand who their audience is now. I think they're not going to try to please the haters anymore. And honestly, like, guys, like, just, okay, you don't like Starfield, like, go your own way, man. It's been 2.5 years, and maybe you make money off of hating on Starfield or whatever, but I mean, that's pathetic as well. Like, move on to covering something you like, okay? You don't like the game, you think it's trash. A lot of people like the game, so we like it. So, like, what else is there to say? Like, why are you still here? You know what I mean? And I feel like Bethesda will keep supporting the game long term. And while I was watching Tim Lamb talk about the game, I also got a sense that he too likes space. Like, I just felt like that was his type of game as well. And I feel like maybe maybe even Todd Howard too. Like, yeah, it's not like the other games they've made, but I feel like they love space, because he told a story about like a patch they have in the office that went to space, and he got really detailed about like the smell, and I mean, not in a weird way, but like, I don't know, he was saying something specific about the patch, and I could tell by the way he was talking about that patch that he liked space, and while he was playing the game as well. So that stood out to me. And that was important, because I it's important that you like space. Some people can make games and play games and not really interested in the genre or the place or whatever that it takes place in, but maybe it's just, a fun game. But I get the feeling that he and Todd, because he seems so passionate about still staying the course of what he thought Starfield is and is going to be, and people aren't understanding it. And maybe they haven't communicated that part the best either, telling people they just don't get it. You just don't get it. I don't know that that's the message, how they should have put it, but I think I understand what they're trying to tell everybody. But I think everybody got confused with Skyrim in space. Skyrim in space, I think, was probably the most damaging sentence ever to be uttered from Bethesda about Starfield. But I think that they're correcting that now. So I look forward to all of my PlayStation 5 new captains, or I guess we'll call them the PlayStation fleet. So we've had the Terran Armada fleet pop into us in the settled systems, and now we have a friendlier fleet joining us in the space lanes, or the free lanes, I guess we'll have to call them now. No more space lanes, we'll call them the free lanes now. We've got a new fleet coming in, captains. So make sure that you welcome them. If you see them in the chat and have questions, make sure you answer them. Get them onboarded, making sure they have everything that they need to get out there in space. And I'm just so thrilled for all the new stuff, for all of the new players, for all the stuff that's probably going to be created and built for Starfield. I think we're in the pioneer phase of this game, and if we all stick to it and just loving it for what it is, people will follow. If you love it, other people will follow. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I'm literally talking to you guys with my eyes closed at this point. So I'm gonna end this stream right here. If you guys are rewatching the replay or anything like that, please put all of your comments and questions and opinions and everything else in the comment section below. I will see you guys the day after tomorrow. Maybe I'll drop a video before that, but make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss it. So whenever I drop, you'll be ready to catch it. What? That sounds kind of gross. Anyway, thank you to all of our moderators. I love you guys, and thank you for watching over the chat, welcoming people, always being here. You guys are the best. Kisses on the foreheads, and sevens to the chat, people. Shout out to the chat. You guys have been awesome today. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the stream so I could read everything that you guys wrote. Make sure you check out the next stream, and I'll probably answer it or whatever, but yeah, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching. I think I told you. Oh, one more thing. There's a new field of view for ships, by the way. That's probably going to be huge for ship builders, particularly because now when you're flying, you can actually see more of your ship, and the reticle, your combat reticle or pilot's reticle is up a little bit higher, and I feel like it gives you like a better view of the battlefield. Like, I don't know, the views are always a little bit awkward from the cockpits, you know, but yeah, we've got a new field of view as well. It was funny because Tim Lamb said that he didn't expect that Starfield players would make such big ships. Like they didn't even think that we would make ships that huge. And of course, when you make huge ships, you start getting camera issues. So that was kind of cool. And I think it's funny that he didn't even think that we would make ships that big. But yeah. Shipbuilding community is on a whole nother level, fam. And if you're interested in like getting into communities, there's tons of Starfield communities that you can jump into. Some good, some bad. Not all mods are good, not all mods are bad. But that's, communities, all that stuff. It's all the same, no matter what community you go into. But, just jump in. We're here for you. We're here for you. If you have questions, comments, concerns, welcome PlayStation 5 fleet. Can't wait till you report for duty on April 7th. If you love space games and you've never played Starfield, if you love space games, Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, those type of games, then yeah, Starfield is worth the money. Pick it up, buy it. You will love all the stuff that you are going to be able to do as a space traveler. You'll be happy with it. If space games aren't your thing, honestly, even if a Bethesda, like if you love Fallout and Skyrim, that doesn't mean you'll love Starfield, but try it. You know what I mean? Try it. And you might not like it because it might not be like the style of Bethesda games that you're used to, but try it. You might like it. You might like to, mod it and, whatever. But if you don't like any of that stuff, then it's not going to be for you, fam. And like, don't be mad that it's not. I feel like people get angry that it's not, and then they start, getting mad at the game and everybody who likes it. It's like, it's just not for you. Like, why are you still here? I always make the comparisons. Like, if you go on a blind date with somebody and it doesn't work out because they weren't what you expected, but you're still like showing up at their house mad at them, and they're with somebody else now who likes them for who they are. Like, yeah, I like her. I think she's great. But you're still showing up every day. Like, why isn't your hair longer? That's what it was. Your hair wasn't longer. You know what I mean? Be like, okay, you didn't like me. Why are you at my house? I'm just saying. You were boring, okay? I didn't have a good time when we were together. It was the worst experience I ever had. And you dating her, you're just as lame as she is. It's like, okay, well, I don't think she's lame. So, why are you here? You didn't like her, right? Why are you still here? So come on, man. I don't know. I just wanted to stop. I just hope that we'll be able to game in peace with Starfield moving forward, and it just becomes what we becomes and turns into, or whatever, what we want it to be and where it's headed. So anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. Shout out to everybody who is a member and supports this channel to keep the lights on. Kiss on the forehead to Ducky. I really gotta go. It's time for me to go to work and then crash. Love you guys. I will see you in a couple days. Marinate on it. If you're new, trying to figure it out, don't listen to everybody, especially look at what their game looks like when they're playing Starfield. I've got the perfect question for you to ask them to figure out if they're hating or being honest. Is just ask them if you could see their load order. Really? Well, what's your favorite mod? Let me see your load order. Oh, I'm just playing the base game to make videos. So you're not showing the whole capability of the game. You're just showing quests that you need to show to get the footage. Ask them what their favorite mod is. Ask them what's in their load order. Ask them what they're using to, ask them. Just ask them. If they can't answer, then they're just making a video for clicks, for engagement. They're not being fair by presenting what the full game is, because they're not playing the full game. I'm saying people who mod their games are different gamers, and you can't present a game that's meant for gamers plus, and you only be a gamer and then read what everybody else says about it. That's not fair. So if you're watching somebody give their opinion or talk about how bad Starfield is, and you look at their game and it looks like they just press new game like 5 minutes before the stream, ask them to see their load order. Ask them what their favorite mod is. Ask them who their favorite mod author is. You know what I'm saying? Ask them what was the POIs out there that we talked about earlier, like the party ship. Ask them what their favorite one that they found was. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be able to answer you. So just be careful who you listen to. My opinion, if you like space games, Starfield is the best one. Period. That's all I got. Love you guys. Kisses on the forehead. You guys are the best. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy this new update dropping April 7th. We'll keep talking about it until it does. And we'll see you next time, captains. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Peace, everybody.